milestone, right?
Is it
I mean, I guess 25 would.
125?
Yeah, that would be a milestone.
At 150, we're getting tattoos, right?
Is that when we were getting the twos?
We never decided, but it seems like a good number.
Are you gonna get a face tat? Cover up your scarring?
No.
Oh,
I'm not getting a face tat.
come on, just one.
No face tat.
You only got to get one tat, and it has to be on your face
A
or like
snake?
behind your ear.
I could get like a snake.
That'd be hilarious if somebody like do people do that? Like get them on their ears?
Oh yeah, I'm sure people get ear tattoos
An ear tat
every day. I think every day.
It's like, all right, bro, let's hit it.
We need to
get some ear tats.
Let's get some ear tats.
I think that'd be hilarious.
Are we live?
Yeah, I'm trying to load it. Yeah, there we are.
Okay.
You were popped up there. I'm looking at my face on the screen.
Well, welcome to all you live streamers out there. Sorry,
Yes.
we're a day late. Hopefully, we're not $1 short.
Not $1 short. No, I'm a solid $6 ahead.
We decided to postpone this episode because me and Jerry did not have the required amount of time to watch a big release in the world of
Movies.
our podcast and movies and comic books.
It's been in waiting. Like people have waited for this for years. Like
I have waited for this
4
for
years, right? So the movie that came out yesterday was the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League.
Yeah, and we're going to review it in
Yes.
total later, but we hadn't watched it before last night, and it's 4 hours long.
4 hours and 2 minutes. It's a bit of a sit.
Yeah.
So you got to put some time into this one.
So we decided to give it a night.
Right. Because we thought we can't have a podcast with this movie being out and not seeing it. Because when we release this episode, besides the live that's happening right now, we release it on a Monday. People have seen it. People want to know our opinion. You know, people want to.
And
hear.
I might have also seen another new release.
I didn't.
Oh, we can't talk about that yet either.
You could bring up something about it, but that's fine. I just couldn't work it in. So yeah,
If
we
you-
ended up watching it.
That's what we're going to do later on the show. We're going to talk about our reactions, our reviews for the Zack Snyder with spoilers cut of Justice League. Before we get to that, hey, one thing, if you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube, if I could implore you.
Just implore.
Implore? Is
Yeah.
that the right word?
I think it is. Implore.
To hit the share button and or the like button and or both buttons.
Yeah, right. You could do both. It is very important. It is vital to our existence that you share this video. We need to reach all of the people in Canada.
Did you see that we got somebody reached out to us in our email about wanting to advertise on our podcast?
No, I saw the email. I didn't read it, though.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's a scam. It's not like a scam, but I think when you click, like, I think it's a salesperson for like a service that places ads.
Gotcha.
But they structured it as like,
This
we have a advertiser that's really interested right now.
right now wants to give you thousands of dollars.
Well, they didn't say that, but
That brings something up in my brain that I wanted to talk about. And I'm not going to mention specifics, and I'm not going to name names by any means, but there was a post on my Facebook feed, and it's one of the schemes that you love, the pyramid type, right?
oh, hate them.
I know you do. And I saw a meme one time that it said like every Midwestern wife, and it had a triangle, and the triangle was cut in half, and it had the left side, it says become a nurse, and then the right side said pyramid scheme. It was like it's one or the other. That's all you do in the Midwest. But anyway,
Well, my wife runs a business.
yeah, I understand there are others, but it is very common for a lot of people to be nurses.
Yeah. Everybody. My Facebook
people
is blown up with these pyramid scheme people. Just
Yes.
stop it.
So
Stop it, people.
This one made me. It just boggled my brain as to why you would post this. So she's been recently posting a lot of things, very inspirational, how she's changing her life, and
Of course.
and it's great. She looks very happy. That's fine. But the reason she's this happy is because she is trying to sell you this pyramid scheme thing. But her recent post had like these bullet points as to why her life has gotten better. And the very first bullet point was like, connected with a friend on Facebook who I had never met before. I was like, that seems like a red flag. And then the next one was
Also
like,
seems like a low bar for your life
yeah,
improving.
yeah. So it had
I
that.
met a person today at the supermarket. Wow.
But it was like, it was talked to a friend on Facebook that I had never met before. And then the next one was, heard about a product that I know nothing about. And then the third one was made a really risky financial investment that was necessary. And then I'm just sitting there like, I don't feel like any of this was necessary. And who wants to like immediately buy something or invest in something that you don't even know the person and you know nothing about the product? And you're like, man, risky investment, but it was necessary for my life.
Yeah.
And I don't think it is. Those are basically every bullet point you just like pointed out are on the like do not list.
Yeah.
It's like, do not invest in something that you don't know anything about. Do not invest in someone you don't know. And I've been laughing about it all week because I was like, man, that really, if you wanted me to buy in, that was the wrong thing to put because I know you and I'm not going to do that.
We could put that whole thing on like stretches my springs
Yeah.
segment. Those things all stretch my spring. I understand. Listen, I want to hear from people. I understand some of them aren't pyramid schemes. They're multi-level marketing.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
It might technically not be a pyramid scheme, but
And some of you might be very successful at
I'm not saying people can't have success at it.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm not also saying that that you're not annoying.
Correct. Absolutely. It just baffles me that people will get into it thinking that they're going to, like, I'm starting a business. Well, you're not. You're not. You're just attached onto somebody else and have to pay them. I guess it's kind of like a loan in a way, but I just don't think it's the right way to go for starting a business.
I just don't really like. It's not. I don't know. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like having anything where you have to leverage your personal relationships with your family and friends to peddle anything.
Yes.
I don't care if it's insurance. I don't care if it's any of this or that. It's a different thing to have like a real business, what I would consider a real business.
Yeah.
But a business that doesn't depend on leveraging your relationships with your friends and family.
Right. And insurance is one thing as long as you don't try to push it on someone. But if you were talking to family members and they're like, oh, I got like my insurance dropped me or I was looking for something cheaper, you could be like, I do that for a living.
No,
you know?
That's completely different. You're talking about being an insurance agent.
Yeah.
Totally normal. What I'm talking about is when I was in college, it was very common for college kids to get recruited by these certain companies, and I'm not going to name them.
Oh, I know exactly what
they
you're
go
talking about.
out and they are encouraged to meet with their friends and family and try and then sell them
Yes.
life insurance or this or that without having any real knowledge of insurance. These people weren't.
Yes. Yes.
You know the company.
Absolutely, I do.
Craig said my sister's podcast just had an interview with a flat earther. If you want to get weird,
I would be all up for that.
I mean, yeah. And then Kyle said, Craig, you are a flat earther. Dirk wants in on the pyramid schemes.
He's peddling countertop butter cabinets. Well, I'm in on that. If you're selling those things, I want one.
Countertop butter cabinet.
Because I got to keep a lot of butter out.
I need more information on this. Is this like a mini drawer that's just the depth of sticks of butter and you can just put in?
No, I bet you it's like a bread box, like the old school bread box, you know?
Doesn't it make more sense to have? So you got your like silverware drawer.
Yeah.
If you had a drawer right above that was the exact depth or height of a stick of butter and it pulled out full so you could just line up
stack
butter
in there.
You put like 20 butters.
I mean, really, couldn't you do that with any drawer? Like,
yes. Yes, you
why
could.
does it have to be the exact size of a butter stick?
Well, you did say a butter cabinet.
He said cabinet, so that's why I think of bread box that you would put like on your counter because he says countertop.
How about a gigantic butter-sized Pez dispenser that sits on your countertop where you lift the head up and it pushes out a stick of butter?
That would be amazing.
And you could even close it and it would take 2 tablespoon chunks.
That would be good. Yeah, it
Guys.
comes out 2 tablespoons at a time.
Guys, who wants to be in charge of my multi-level marketing campaign? Because I just invented
We just
something.
created it. If you guys can sell it for us.
We didn't create it.
Oh, we did. No. If it's on this podcast, it's a we thing, Christopher.
Oh,
Because I told you it was a
Craig
good
said
idea.
the cabinet is made out of butter.
Oh, so the cabinet's the butter. Okay.
I'm liking this Pez dispenser idea.
No, that's a really good idea to where it cuts the
actually
butter for
is.
you. They do have some gadgets.
Don't steal my thunder.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying they have gadgets that you put the butter in this like tube. It's like a butter the same size as the butter, and you put it in there, close it up, and then you crank it, and it will push it out the end into ribbons.
Okay, but it doesn't measure it for you.
No, it doesn't measure it. I'm just saying it'll push it out and make a ribbon of butter.
Here's
And
an idea.
You can do it with cold butter though, and it's spreadable once it's pushed through.
I like that.
Extruded even.
Idea, I guess, but what if we called it the butter bazooka? It's got a good name. It's got a good ring to it.
It really does.
But it's not really like
It's
a
not-
bazooka. So there is a thing called the sushi bazooka. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, that it's actually like a caulk gun.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it like shits out a roll of
Yeah.
sushi for you.
It's awesome. I want one so bad.
It does not look awesome. They also have those tubes that you put eggs in, and it makes like scrambled eggs for you,
I don't know what that is.
and it pushes it out in a tube. It does not look good. That's not something I want.
Anyway, what do you think about Craig's flat Earth conversation? What's your feeling on flat Earth
Hang
theory?
on. Dirk said that he's converting old bank lock boxes into the butter cabinets.
Like the ones in the vaults?
I guess that you have to pull out and open up.
Yeah.
That seems too difficult to use. It needs to be one of those roll top,
Yeah.
lids or whatever.
Like a
door.
secretary.
Yeah, like those old desks, like the
Butter-
old roll top desks.
Butter tubes for caulk guns, not a bad idea though. Like a pre-filled caulk tube full of butter.
Now that I'm serious, I would buy that in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
A caulk butter gun,
Yeah.
a butter caulk gun, just be a butter gun.
That would be the butter bazooka.
That would be a butter bazooka. Yeah, you're right.
Boom. We just did it.
We can do it. Let's just get old tubes and clean them out and start packing butter in them. It'd be that
We
easy.
don't have to find old tubes. I'm sure we can find the manufacturer of caulking tubes.
Oh, do they sell new tubes?
I think you can buy empty tubes.
I thought the caulk company made the tubes and the caulk.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Made the tube around their caulk.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the hard part of all this is the dairy lobby. You got to get them in your pocket.
We would.
Big dairy.
Big dairy would be in my pocket for sure.
Anytime, yeah. I mean, if you're, hey, we want to make your product into a caulk. You could be like, for Windows?
Yeah. Butter caulk for Windows. People are really into it right now.
Ugh.
No, we want to put butter in your caulk tubes. Gosh, it just gets worse every time I say it.
We'll call it the butter bazooka.
Yeah, butter bazooka. Good. All right. Copyrighted.
Copyright
Snarf Talk.
Talk. 2021.
Flat earthers.
Flat Earth theory.
So, it has no weight, obviously, and it aggravates the crap out of me.
It aggravates me as well. I can't deal with it.
There
Every time I see these people talking,
So it was a big deal for a while. Like everybody was like pushing it for a while. Then it kind of went away. But every once in a while I hear some people that still bring it up. And it's like, is this is still a thing? Like there are people that still really believe this.
I don't know if they do or not, or they just want attention.
Why do you want that kind of attention though?
Dude.
It's the same people that go on like Jerry Springer
People
or
want
Maury.
all kinds of attention. They just want any attention.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's the same type of people. If you're doing that just for attention, that same person would also go on Maury and say that, I'm not the father, and have 3 women claim that you are the father, and then sit down and wait for testing that is all fake for
But
attention.
bro, I can't see anything that curves. I don't see no curve.
See, and that's the way they would be. And then it'd be like,
Except when you're at the beach and you see a boat
Yeah.
disappear
yeah, exactly.
over the horizon.
But and then Maury would sit there and say, how does he say it? And the results are in, like,
You
you
are
an idiot.
not the father.
There is a curve. And then they'd stand up. Oh, and the women would be yelling at him, and he'd be hanging his head down because he's a loser. He figured out that he's a loser. I just watched Maury the other day because I went to Joliet and I was eating at Mickey's in Joliet. You ever ate at Mickey's?
No, I've been
Little
by there, but
little sandwich
never eaten there.
joint. They got a really good Chicago style hot dog.
It's on Jefferson.
Larkin and 30, like the corner. It's by Harbor Freight.
Oh, okay. Then no, I haven't been there.
Okay, it's a little hole in the wall place. Got a phenomenal
I
Chicago
was thinking
style
of
dog.
that dog place on
Great
Jefferson.
snap. You're thinking of
There's a drive-through dog place.
yes, and I can't think of the name of it, but I've eaten there too.
I've eaten there before.
But this was better, I think. I like their buns better, but they had a snap. It had to have been a Nathan's.
Ooh, maybe it was a Vienna. They got a lot of snap too.
They do. But
I ate at Boz's the other day.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
haven't eaten there in a long time.
Got some takeout.
That sounds really good. Did you get the beef?
I did get the beef.
You got to get the beef.
You gotta get the
Every
beef.
time you go to Boz's, you got to get the beef.
But they also have a great combo.
They've got big hot dogs there, don't they? Like a really long one?
No, they got regular hot dogs, and then they got, what do they call them? It's like a fatter hot dog, but it's not. It's like an Italian
Frank.
sausage type deal.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I know what you mean. It'd be a sausage.
But it's not like an Italian sausage. I don't know what it's called.
A Polish?
Yes, maybe.
It'd have to be. Anyway, I was sitting in Mickey's eating my dog, and Maury was on, and that's what was going on. They were screaming about who the father is and who cheated on who, and I just couldn't understand. And obviously, we've all seen these shows a bajillion times. Nobody sits and watches these shows, right? Are there people in this world that do this?
Absolutely. There's people. Why would they wouldn't be on if there was the people that watch?
That was my question. Is like, first of all, these are like the lowest of low human beings that
That's
have
why
nothing
people
else
watch
going
it.
on.
It makes them feel good about
They have
themselves.
nothing else going on in their life, so I'm going to go on Maury just to try to be get my 15 minutes of fame. But then I started thinking, how are these shows still on the air? There must be a ton of people that watch them during the day.
Dude,
because
there's so many people that are just home all day.
you know where their ratings come from, though? Is that somebody has turned on Channel 9 News in the morning and then forgot that they left their TV on and left.
No, there's a lot of people that are home in the middle of the day. There's a lot of people that don't work.
Really? That's a thing?
Yeah, for sure that's a thing.
I'm just out of touch with that, I guess. Because you know what? I'm a worker. I go to work, except for on Fridays.
I need to talk about something right now.
Okay.
Boz's is a chain?
Can't be.
It is. Hazelcrest, Lansing, Thornton, Steger, Bourbonnais, Kankakee, Morris, and Route 50 North, Schuler, and River Street, and Dyer, Indiana.
Wow.
I had no idea.
I thought it was only in Morris.
I did too.
I've literally never seen another establishment.
I've kind of lost some respect for them now.
I mean, maybe they branched out from Morris and made it bigger. I'd have respect for that.
Well, yeah. I'm not that I've lost respect. That was the wrong way to put it.
It was.
I just thought it was like one of those things. It's like you're local,
Yeah.
Little pride. You got a little pride in it.
Is Dave's Dogs a chain?
That's not a chain.
Dave's Dogs is a hometown thing.
For sure. It is a Polish, by the way.
It is a Polish. That's what I thought.
Yeah. And they have a foot-long Polish, too.
Molly Kaminsky told us to go to Babaluke's Beef and Pizza and
I
sales.
love a good Babaluke's.
I've only eaten at Babaluke's one time in my life, and it was a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
I've gone there quite a bit, and I was just there not that long ago. I mean, when I say not that long ago, it was a little while ago, but last summer we went there. We had a baseball game
Oh, yeah.
in Marseille.
Oh, yeah.
We went there.
I didn't go. Why wasn't I invited?
I don't know.
That's a little insider trading on Molly's end. She's got a little inside investment there.
Yeah.
I feel like that's almost like a pyramid scheme. Just what you're doing right there.
No, she's promoting her family business.
Well, okay. This isn't free advertisement around here.
I don't know.
Molly.
But when I went there, I had the best experience ever. They've expanded. They got like a whole nother side now with tables.
Really?
It's great. Great pizza.
I haven't been there in years.
I've only ever had pizza there, but
Oh, really?
yeah.
I hear their beef's very good.
Molly said, "Tell them I sent you and I get a Bigfoot cookie." It is a pyramid scheme.
See? It's like this for that kind of thing. A quid pro
It's like,
quo.
oh, try my HelloFresh and you get $50 and I get $50.
Oh,
I bet she
But
gets
we
a
get
Bigfoot.
we get a Bigfoot
but I
cookie.
bet you she gets one too.
Of course she does. She probably makes the Bigfoot cookies.
Probably.
Okay, I see how it is. Anyway, I do want to go there. I do want to try. I want to go around and just do an Italian beef review.
Oh, well. I mean, I can't say anything now because I feel like I don't want to offend. But I have a pretty strong opinions on that.
On Italian beef?
Yeah. I really like Baz's.
Yeah, so do I. I like Baz's.
I've not had one at Babaluke's. I've only had pizza there. So
No, I know. I'm not saying we should do a review right now. I'm saying we should travel the countryside eating Italian beefs.
Okay.
And then come back and give a review.
I'm in because EJ Cars is an Italian beef on the menu.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
They do?
They got a combo on the menu.
An Italian beef combo. Does Portillo's count?
Yeah. Well, I mean, no.
Or are we doing like hole in the wall stuff?
Well, Baz's got like 30 locations.
That's true. I guess we'd have to.
There's only one Babaluke's.
I know. There's
World
only one.
famous.
There's only one EJ Cars.
Dirk says I'm a fan of the HelloFresh. Yeah, and I bet you have a code right now that if you share it, you get $50, and everybody
Yeah, it's
else
like,
gets $50.
Huge fan of HelloFresh. Here's a code.
Here's a code. Use it. I got it from the guy above me.
Yeah, exactly. You tried that, didn't you?
Yeah, we did HelloFresh. I enjoyed it. It was good. Now we have one called Home Chef. It's a little cheaper.
Did you do Blue Apron?
No.
You never did Blue Apron. Just the HelloFresh. And the what? Home Chef?
Home Chef is the one we do now.
Cheaper?
Home Chef. It's a little bit cheaper, and I feel like HelloFresh was a little more work. But they're both good.
I do, and it's called Aldi and Jewel.
Yeah. That's fine.
Go and buy your groceries, Chris.
I don't have time. I got better
You're
things
just like
to do.
a 1%er, aren't you?
I
You're
got
like
better things to do with my time.
You're like the top tier humanoid
Listen,
of our area.
Feel free to buy my groceries for me. I'll give you my
Unbelievable.
credit card.
Why would I do that? I got to buy my own.
Then don't complain.
And I do it. I go out there. I slave away buying groceries. I saw Marley in Walmart just like a couple weeks ago. You still got to go.
Not very often. We don't go very often.
No?
No.
You get everything off Amazon.
We get a lot off Amazon. Marley probably goes somewhere. She probably goes somewhere once a week.
We had a heck of a time dialing down the Amazon, like getting it honed in, right, to what we needed.
Oh, you know you can make things like every 6 months or every...
No, I know, and we were changing it up, and it would be like, so at first we had it out at 6 months, and we'd use everything up. So then we like dialed it down, and then we dialed it down too much, and we were getting like a bajillion paper plates. That it's just like, okay, we got plenty of paper plates. Let's slow that down now and put it back out to 8
Don't
months.
slow
and
it
then
down.
It's like,
you can't slow it down. Paper plates, man, we use them like crazy.
oh yeah, that's all we basically use. The only time I use like an actual hard plate is when I'm thawing out meat. I put it on like a hard plate.
Yeah, a hard plate.
Hard plate.
A real hard
The real
plate.
plate. The China. That's what it.
China.
The China.
Dirk wants to go on the Italian beef tour. You are invited, sir.
Do you have any good Italian beef places by you?
Yeah, if anybody's
Dirk
got
Less?
any suggestions for Italian beef places, this is what we're doing now.
Joe's Hot Dog is on 30. That's the one. Joe's Hot Dog.
So what's the one on Jefferson? Because that one's good too.
Wait a minute. He said on 30. I thought Joe's was on Jefferson. Maybe it's Hot Dog for you. No?
So anyways.
Dirk also said he's a heavy feeder. He's on full feed, folks.
But I like a lot of pepper on my Italian beef.
Sport peppers or hot peppers,
Hot
banana peppers.
No, hot peppers.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not a huge hot pepper guy on beef. I will have some. I like a little bit of a kick to it.
A little pep.
But I like the banana peppers. I like that tang, that zip. You know, that punch
I like
to
them
your
too.
tongue.
But I do like I'll take a
I don't want it to be burny.
I don't like it to be burned.
I don't want it to burn my throat.
I like jardinere.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's what I'm all
Amy is obsessed with that Giardinier.
Jardinere.
That is the single hardest word to spell.
Did you see I posted, when we're on this topic of food, I posted on our page the video of Dave Portnoy. He's been doing Chicago
He has,
pizza
yeah.
places. And he did Chicago Pizza and Oven Grinders,
Oh, he did?
which I love that place. But
I haven't seen him.
have you ever been there?
No, I don't think so.
So it's not pizza really. It's like so they got like a bread bowl almost.
Okay.
It's like they take a big bowl and they line it with dough.
Yes, I've seen that. And then they flip it over.
And then they fill it with sausage and sauce and cheese and peppers and onions and mushrooms. And then they bake it, and then they come over when they flip it over upside down. And it's like a pot pie, pizza pot pie.
Right.
Basically. So, and it's one of those places that like is classic Chicago place, but also it's the place that everybody bitches about. Because they're just like,
That makes sense.
oh, that's where all the tourists go. It's not real.
Right.
But it is authentic. I mean, it's been there forever. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I enjoy it. I've been there like 3 times. Very much enjoy it.
Okay.
Cool place. So he did it there, but he just got cheese.
That's all he
always,
gets.
Well, he didn't. His friend ordered it.
Okay.
And they just ordered him cheese, and you can't eat it like pizza. He's like,
No.
And he's just throwing a fit. He's like, I don't know how to do this. He's like, you can't order cheese. Nobody's ever walked in this place and ordered a cheese. They make it one way, with sausage and all that blah blah blah.
Yeah.
You got to order it like that. The guy was like, well, you always get cheese. He's like, yeah.
Frankie.
No, it wasn't.
His guy.
It
wasn't Frankie?
No, it was Eddie.
Oh. Did he switch it up?
No, Frankie's on the camera. This guy it was another guy. It was driver. Or something.
Okay.
Anyway, so they're bitching, but that was his one thing. He's like, well, it's not pizza. You have to do it the way that they make it. You got to eat it that way. I like that place. If anybody gets a chance to go to Chicago, there's no reservations though, and there's always a line.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it sucks.
He was in Northbrook for something, for a pizza that I saw before I came here, and he liked it a lot.
Yeah.
And he does, I think he scores things pretty well.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because he said, he's like, listen, he's like, I love this. He's like, I could see why people want to come here. I could see why they told me to come to this place. He said, everybody says like, I'm tough on scoring. He's like, this guy over here, he's saying it's an 8. He's like, if I lived in this area, would I say it's an 8? If this is like the local food around me, he's like, yeah, I would. Would I say it's an 8 for pizza? Everything that I've tried in the nation, like, would I say it's an 8? He's like, I don't think I would, because of everything that he's tried. And I think that's a fair assessment because of all of the other types of pizza he's had and the scoring. You can't score it on like what you've only had in Chicago. You have to score it on the world of pizza, right? But he ended up giving it a 7.8. I think that was a fair score.
That's a pretty high score for him.
It's very high. Yeah.
I watched when he did a pizza score of Lunchables pizza.
I didn't know he did. Was it during the quarantine?
Yeah. It's like a -2.
Yeah. He also did that for Jack's.
He did a bunch of frozen pizzas.
Because Jack's was like hammering him, sending him things and being like mean to him. So he just got pissed off and gave him a really shitty review.
Yeah.
Because the pizza that he got was like already thawed out. And he was like pissed when he got it and it was already thawed out. He's like, how am I supposed to cook this? He's like, because it's already half thawed out. He's like, now I always put it fully frozen into the oven. He's like, so do I alter my cook time? I don't know. He's like, I'm going to go by what the box says. So he overcooked the shit out of it and gave him a bad review.
Of course, David's going to have an opinion on this. So, tavern style pizza sucks and square cut is terrible. Slices only. I'm not a fan of square cut pizza.
He's
personally.
saying like that's a Dave Portnoy thing. I don't think he's saying that as his opinion. I think that's a Dave Portnoy thing. He has liked a couple. They call it a grandma slice, a grandma style, where it's the square pizza, which I don't like at all either. I don't really care for that. And Dave Portnoy has never really cared for it either. There's a couple times that he likes it, but he never gives them a very good review. Yeah. He hates margarita pizza as well.
I'm not a fan of margarita pizza.
Yeah, he doesn't. He caps a margarita pizza like the highest it could possibly get is a 5.
I'm with him on that.
I completely agree. Yeah,
depends on the level of balsamic vinaigrette.
I just want him.
If there's a lot, then I'll score it higher.
I want him to go out to this Denver joint that I went to. It's called the Atomic Cowboy, but it's two restaurants in one. So it's the Atomic Cowboy, but it has the Denver Biscuit Company and it has Fat Sully's pizza. Denver Biscuit Company has biscuits, obviously, but you can get lunch and breakfast there, and they've got a ton of different foods, and then obviously the pizzas. And that is by far the best pizza I've ever had. Like, I haven't had a pizza better than that slice that I got there. And I want them to go try that because it's so freaking good.
Take me there. We'll go there on our Italian beef tour.
Okay, just fly out to Denver for a slice.
Why not? Cheap to fly to Denver.
They don't have Italian beef there, though.
Let me ask this. I don't, because I'm confused from what David's saying. What is tavern style pizza?
Square.
That's
the no. Square cut. Tavern style pizza. I guess I don't know.
I don't know what that
I'll have to look it up.
But yeah, he doesn't.
Nope. I hate squares. I love margarita. I love slices. I also love slices.
Yeah, I'm a slice guy.
I would much rather have everything in slices.
The only time I like squares is with a taco pizza.
Every place you go around here, though, puts it in a square. Cuts it in a square.
Not most places, right?
A lot of places.
I mean, Gio's doesn't, and that's the best pizza place in the world.
It's not. It's not. Wilmington pizza is real good. Fox's Pizza is also in Wilmington. It's real good, but they're copycats of each other. Like, one guy used to work at Wilmington Pizza and then went and opened Fox's Pizza. That we did a big Snarf recommends. I found out the inside scoop there. It's like the same pizza. It's the exact same thing, but they're both very good. But they're in squares. Maria's is in squares. EJ's is in squares. Anywhere you go, squares.
What's Babaluke's? Are they a square?
Like to
I
know.
think they're a square pizza too.
How did that happen? How did that start? Why did they do that? Like, the standard for pizza was slices.
Different parts of the country, it's squares. It's just the way it is. There's some parts of the country that you get the square rectangle sheets of pizza. I think it's like Philadelphia.
That's the grandma's slice.
Yeah,
that's what I was talking about, because that's what I thought he was talking about. But then I realized it was the square slices he was saying.
Squares are parties when you realize you didn't. Squares are parties when you realize you didn't buy enough for everyone.
Gio's in Coal City. You have a fan.
Yeah, right there.
I like it.
Gio's
it's fine.
In Coal City is the best pizza around. That's
not.
why it's #1 pizza voted in Grenada County several years straight.
No.
I disagree. Pizza around here does not suck. Molly says you can ask for squares or slices at Bob Luke's. But what's standard?
What
That's
is
what I
the
wanna
standard?
know.
What comes if I don't ask for anything? Is it going to be served to me in a slice or a square in the box? Like, I call on the phone, say, hey, I need a couple pies.
Give me a couple pies.
I got to get one with the pep. I got to get one with the sauce. All right, just the sauce.
Just the sauce.
Sausage. I wanted to say sausage, but I was trying to shorten it up.
Okay, it didn't work. Nobody's ever said, give me
I
the
know.
pep, too.
I know. I want the one with the pep, and I want the one with the gabagool.
Like Pepsi pizza?
No, the pepperoni. Come on. And pizza in Italy, the real deal. Well, yeah.
Okay,
Thanks,
stop.
Dan.
First of all, they don't really have the same kind of pizza in Italy. I think pizza, the way we know it, is like an American invention.
He said nothing like ours.
So I've been to Italy, to Rome. I've had pizza there. And you can get that kind of pizza here, especially in like fancy
Isn't that the
places.
margarita style pizza?
Kind of, but it'll be like a flatbread pizza, with like a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Little
some
oil.
Tomato, get a little bit
tomato,
of
little
olive oil and a little bit of vinegar.
Sauce.
Maybe a little bit of mozzarella.
Yeah, throw the mozz on.
Nothing, very light. It's like a cracker.
I'm gonna crinkle up this basil, throw it on there for you.
Yeah.
That's how they talk in Italy.
Yeah. We're just trying to... We're going to throw you up some basil over here.
Come on. I got a bunch of basil on my window.
Welcome to the pizza place.
grow
Come
it up
on in here and
every
sit
day.
down. We're going to give you some basil.
You need the olive oil? The extra virgin, the EVOO? Huh?
I tell you, though, it's like a cracker. It's like stuff on a cracker. That's what it's like in Rome.
Put that on a cracker, dude.
Yeah. We're gonna give a gabagool.
Yeah, give me that gabagool. That's a capicola.
Yeah. I like that place in Ottawa. That like fancy pizza place where it used to be where the sushi place was. Burgers and Bash.
Yeah,
Whatever.
I know what you're talking about. I don't remember the name of it.
It's not bad.
Seed and Top and McDonald went there. I thought it was going to be really good. We went, and I was honestly a little bit disappointed.
Really? I enjoyed it. They got
Amy and I went with her brother and her sister.
What did you get?
Patreon subscriber Caleb Koss was there
Did
with
you
me.
get goat cheese?
We did have a goat cheese one there.
Did you get a balsamic drizzle?
Yeah, we did. We had like everything because we ordered like 4 different types of pizza. No, even more than that. I think everybody ordered their own individual one, and then we shared slices.
Dirk said, "If I didn't know any better, I think I was listening to a couple old Italians."
Yeah, that's what we are. Because I said gabagool. Give me that gabagool.
David, oh my gosh!
I've watched The Sopranos.
Listen, stop. David likes something.
Yeah, he liked it a lot. He's the one who told me to go there, and he loved it. And then when we went, it just kind of fell flat for me. And the one reason why is that their waitress, I think, was super drunk. And
What?
Oh, I'm not joking you. She couldn't like put words together, and she just didn't. She was not a good server whatsoever. You'll have to ask Amy about it.
I don't
I'm
know.
not going
They
to talk
told me
about
this
it on
whole
air.
the waitress when I was there was going on and on about we got this pizza oven. It came from Italy. We had to put it on a fucking boat. We had to like float it over here because it's too big to go on a plane. And I'm like, just stop.
Yeah,
This is true.
unnecessary.
But
Yeah,
they do have
so you
some,
got a
like-
brick oven.
I don't even know if any of that's true. I just made that up. But there was making a big deal about this pizza oven from
Yeah.
Italy, and it cost like $100,000.
Right. Well, that
something.
seems like a silly investment. You
Yeah.
can buy like portable brick ovens.
Yeah,
you know?
that place has a brick oven portable pizza wagon that you can hire for like catering for events.
Really? They got one in Mazan too.
They got a pizza oven,
Yeah.
portable pizza oven
Yeah, they used to put it out on the street for like the fireman days and like
with a real brick oven, wood-fired brick oven pizza maker in it.
yes, it is like it looks like one of those chimeneas, you know, with like the stack.
That's what it looks like in there.
That's what it is. It's Hardee's have it.
Well, anyway, what were we talking about? Oh, speaking of David liking a place, I'm going to, I think, hopefully give his brunch place a try this weekend.
Yes, I saw that.
We
I
can
want
go
to
if
go.
you wanna go.
I want to go because that sounded pretty good, and he was all about that brunch, and I do love a good
He
brunch.
was all about that brunch. About that brunch. Give me pancakes.
All them oysters. Wasn't it like 60 cents an oyster? Something like
yeah,
that.
60 cents an oyster. Give me 1,000 then.
I don't. I don't like oysters at all.
Oh, I love them.
Do you really?
Love them.
I didn't think you would.
No, I'm a huge oyster fan.
Gosh, I've tried them many times. I've tried them many different ways: raw, cooked, Rockefellered. It's just not a fan. I'm just not a fan.
I've always just liked regular raw oysters, but I was in New Orleans recently for a wedding.
Have you ever done this and swallowed it?
It's nothing like
It's exactly like that.
So
it's
I've
a loogie.
recently was in New Orleans for a wedding. At this wedding, they had an oyster station where they were grilling, just on a regular grill, grilling big oysters like on the half shell with a little bit of cheese and some other stuff on them, like Parmesan cheese and some other things.
Yeah, it sounds really good.
And they'd come off the grill like still boiling, sizzling.
Oh yeah, just hot, just as hot as you could get it.
Unbelievable.
Really? Where was this at?
In New Orleans.
Nolans. I believe it's pronounced.
Nolans.
I mean, they should be good down there, right?
You had 4 dozen oysters, David? Jesus Christ.
That's sickening.
I bet he got a little action that night.
Yeah, and I bet you didn't.
It's an aphrodisiac.
4 dozen oysters.
That's a lot of oysters. I mean, they're not very filling.
What's this aphrodisiac stuff? Give me a break. There is no part of an oyster or even eating an oyster
It's
that
a chemical
is
process.
sexy.
No, it's not.
You're like, no, they're like, oh, this is an aphrodisiac because it looks good.
No, I don't think that's
It's like,
why it's an aphrodisiac.
It's like slurp this snot ball down. I think it's so good
It's
looking.
like a chemical reaction, right?
No, it's because people get like sensual over snotty food, apparently. Slimy, slippery food.
Oh my God, try and figure out how to spell aphrodisiac.
I can't.
I don't even know where to start.
I said jardiniere was the hardest. It's apparently aphrodisiac. You're right.
Afro. Oh, it's from the Greek Aphrodite, I bet.
Aphrodite, I bet you it is too, yeah. The love god or something, right?
So let's figure out why it's an aphrodisiac. Oysters have been a reputed aphrodisiac for at least since the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Why?
And supposedly were regularly enjoyed as a virility booster by Giacomo Casanova.
Ah, Casanova. Okay, so it was made up by him.
No.
Yes.
The stories came out of a presentation by the American Chemical Society by George Fisher, professor of chemistry. They found that him and colleagues discovered that mussels contain the amino acid D-aspartic acid, which has been found to increase the level of sex hormones in lab rats. Wow. I told you.
Yeah, you were right. Okay.
The amino acid could contribute to the aphrodisiac effect of shellfish.
Okay. But there are things on...
It's not been studied in human beings.
Okay. On shows and stuff, you always hear, like, in some countries, they consider this an aphrodisiac. Well, that's just them, like, considering it. None of it's true.
Right.
And I just don't get it.
I don't know. Anyway, oh, yeah.
I never got a chub.
Man, we missed a lot. 3 dozen round.
After eating them snot buckets. 3 dozen
Wife is
raw
allergic
dozen
to
cooked.
shellfish, so it's like being... Well, she's not eating the shellfish.
No, but she is severely, and he just sits there in front of her, slopping down all this shellfish, and getting
Slurping and slopping.
oh yeah, getting all the juice all over him. So you think she's coming by him after that? Absolutely not. You think she wants swollen lips, tongue hanging out of her mouth because she's, all swelled up? Yeah. Thanks a lot, baby. That's what happens when they get home. He tries to smooch on her.
Remember when we,
And her tongue
before
gets
this,
thick.
we're like, we have nothing to talk about. What are we going to talk about for this whole podcast? We still have to do the review. We're already actually running behind.
Yeah, no, we're not. We're not.
Did you have any news, by the way?
No, I have no news.
Okay.
I have none. All we're going to talk about is stupid aphrodisiacs and giving me the pep. Put the pep on the...
Give me the pep over here.
You got an oyster? Put a pep on it. Put a little pep on it.
Where you from? You from the United States? I'm going to tell you how we do things over here in Rome.
Yeah.
All right? We got a cracker pizza.
We got that cracker pizza.
We don't put no pep on it.
No pep.
We put some tomato.
And basil.
We some basil. We drizzle some balsam on it.
Yeah. We got that balsam.
We
Give me
drizzle-
that
drizzle that
good
balsam.
briny balsam.
And we
And that EVOO, that virgin olive oil.
yeah, we get that over there with that gabagoo. And hey, Freddie, get it over here.
Hey, we got
Get
that
over
pizza.
here. Say hello to your mother for me.
That pizza. Say hello to your mother for me. That's right. Mm-hmm.
Dirk says sounds like an appetizer.
What?
I'm guessing he's talking about the 6 dozen. I mean, I don't know. We're way
I
behind.
don't know where we're at. The 4 dozen snot buckets.
I'm going. I got.
I'm sure they have a lot more than that, but that's what I
seen
really
one of his
love.
kids eating a waffle, so they got waffles.
Yeah, it's a brunch. That's why I love
Hey,
that.
Lou, this guy doesn't want no pizza. Get him a waffle over here.
Anybody got a waffle? Make this child a waffle.
We don't got no waffles. This is Rome.
We're in Rome.
We got a Waffle House over here.
We got tomatoes. You want a tomato? You want that good gravy? I'll put that good gravy on your.
Now we're getting somewhere.
Sure.
Nothing. What you're talking about?
Where we get? What am I talking about?
I don't know.
Gravy. That's what they call the red sauce. Italians call it gravy.
Really?
You didn't know that?
No.
You don't watch enough cooking shows.
No, I don't. I
Oh
don't
my
watch enough
gosh,
cooking
where you
shows.
been? Any good Italian restaurant, they say, I got my grandma's gravy recipe. And everybody's like, gravy? What are you talking about? It's like the red sauce, the marinara. You guys call it marinara. We call it gravy.
You know what the key is? You just got to put all that shit in a pot and let it like simmer all day long.
You got to use San Marzano. San Marzano tomatoes and a canned tomato. Don't use fresh, okay? You pick the fresh, you put it in the can, peak ripeness. It's true. It is true, though. Everybody always says, use the canned San Marzanos. And that's what they do.
David,
Whole tomatoes, not the crushed.
no, you got to do the whole tomato.
Yeah.
Worcestershire sauce is an aphrodisiac?
Of course it is.
Drinking a bottle.
It's got
night.
it's got them fishies in it. What are them called?
Oh, anchovies.
Anchovies. Give me the.
I love anchovies on a pizza. By the way,
Yeah, but you gotta get them in the can.
Get it? Not in the mustard sauce.
I am not a fan of fish.
Oh, I am
in a can.
David said chicken and waffles. So I
love it.
Have always been like one of those, I don't know why, but I always had it in my head. And I'm like, no,
me too.
Not doing chicken and waffles. Not interested.
100%.
Not ordering it. Like, it was too trendy, hipster bullshit.
Thought it was dumb. Like this, no way can this go together.
And so when I was down in New Orleans.
Oh, you just recently had this.
Very recent, yeah. I mean, I think I've had it before.
Mine was about 2 years ago.
Anyway, we went to this little diner, and the guy, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get fucking chicken and waffles.
Yeah.
So I ordered them, and it's a big thing down there because it's in the South.
Of course, yeah.
And the guy's like, hey, I just want to let you know something right up front. I'm like, okay, what's going on?
Yeah.
He's like, we do chicken strips here. We don't do
not like fried chicken.
Bone-in fried chicken. He's like, I just want to let you know because that's not like the right way to do it, but that's the way we do it here.
Yeah.
And I was like, so I don't have to mess with bones? Even better.
Yeah, that seems easy.
Anyway, it was great. And then the chicken strips, they were like really good.
Yeah.
Chicken strips. But I found it even better because you can just cut through them and you could just get a bite of chicken and waffle all together. It was amazing.
So I had not the exact same experience, but I agree. I wanted nothing to do with it. And then I went to Memphis for work. I was there for a week. And I went on like Memphis's like main, it was like one block off their main drag. I can't remember the name of the street, but BB King has a restaurant there. It's just BB King's restaurant. And I thought it was going to be like a little cliche and like kind of crappy to get chicken and waffles. And when I asked
look
the
at
lady,
this white guy over there ordering chicken and waffles.
Yeah.
BB King's restaurant.
Right. And I asked the waitress about their chicken and waffles, and she looked at me and she's like, oh my gosh. She's like, we normally have just the regular chicken and waffles. She said, but this week, it's BB King's birthday. It's his birthday week. And during that week, they have a specialty chicken and waffles. And he loved strawberries and jalapenos in his waffles. So they had a strawberry jalapeno waffle with the fried chicken that they make. She said, I'm telling you right now, you're going to love it. I was like, all right, give me the chicken and waffles then. And it blew me away.
Yeah.
It was absolutely amazing.
Isn't BB King like a famously diabetic?
Absolutely. He was super overweight. I think he died from diabetes.
Drinking syrup or eating syrup.
No, he's dead now.
Is he dead?
Yeah, he died.
Yeah.
Long time ago. But putting syrup and stuff on fried chicken plus the waffles, my gosh, it was unbelievable.
Oh, David said 343 was strips too. Great. That's what I'm going to get when I go there then.
It's Carl Walarski and Bob Swirsky doing the podcast tonight.
Well, you know.
Bob Swirsky. What's that make?
Hey, speaking
that makes
of
a baker dozen for me,
speaking of
Phil.
the super fans, did you hear about all the big moves that the Bears made this week?
I don't know if they're real big.
How about we talk about that?
Oh, getting into a sports podcast now. All right. Well, the Bears want to lose, and they have decided we're giving up on all of our players, and we are going to give up on all of our fans. And we're going to. I would have been more comfortable with Mitch.
Yeah.
Than good old Red Rocket.
Your athletic 20-something-year-old.
Yeah. You get Andy Dalton in there, and now we're going to have this stupid competition between Andy Dalton and Nick Foles. And they're going to try to play it up as like if there is a competition.
Who's the worst competition?
Yeah. It's like, who can throw it further than 15 yards in the air? And
what happened to Andy Dalton, though? Because he was like a big draft, right?
Yeah, and he did fine in
I think
Dallas.
He did terrible, right?
I thought he did all right
Cincinnati,
last year.
Right?
He was in Dallas.
He was a Bengal, wasn't he?
Not last year.
Not last year.
He was a Cowboy. I thought he was a Cowboy.
You're right. Right. But for the longest time, he was with Cincinnati.
Yes.
He was drafted there.
And he did fine. Like, he wasn't terrible.
I don't think he did fine.
He wasn't terrible, but he wasn't, like, overly good. He was just like a mediocre, solid quarterback that was okay. They just didn't have anybody really around him to do anything, and we don't have anybody around us to do anything because they all leave. They're just all leaving.
Dirk said, yes, diabetics love chicken and waffles. I'm sorry. That was an insensitive comment, Dirk.
It wasn't insensitive. You're absolutely right, and he's right. They do love that. And he was a notorious diabetic. Just like Walter, I want to say Walter Brimley. Wilfred Brimley. Yeah.
Testing supplies.
Yeah. You want to know what you can get from me? Chicken and waffles. Then testing supplies.
Anyway, Andy Dalton. Yeah, no, it's a big letdown. But I did like all the people for the last 2 weeks that have been speculating about Bears are going to get Russell Wilson.
Did you see what but they did put up some pretty good stuff to try to get him.
You know, with the salary cap, they would have to give away the entire team, basically.
No, they wouldn't. They're already going to get rid of a bunch of people. Like, they already knew people were going to leave.
Yeah, but they'd have to get rid of
But it's like a win now type mentality where you could get a phenomenal quarterback with some assets around him to throw to, and then he can obviously run. And their defense was fine, but now Akeem Hicks is going to leave, and they already got rid of Kyle Fuller.
Yeah, well, that's fine. They have great wide receivers.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, he had people around him.
Yeah.
If you got what's his nuts? And I can't even remember his name now.
Russell Wilson.
Doesn't even matter. If you had him there, he would have been able to do a good
I like how
job.
they had the best meme I saw was a Wheel of Fortune board, and it had all the letters from that are shared between Russell Wilson and Andy Dalton.
Oh yeah.
Like, and it said, what's the answer? Or the Bears' new quarterback is,
and
the guy's like Russell Wilson, and then they line up the letters to Andy Dalton. It's just like,
For Pat McAfee has a podcast, and he was like all pumped up about, I don't know if it was sarcasm. I didn't see the whole episode because he does a live stream and like a YouTube and then has a audio version. And he was all pumped up, standing up, clapping his hands. The Bears got Andy Dalton. And he was like really acting pumped up. And I could not tell if it was a joke or not. It had to have been a joke, right?
I don't know. I mean, there's been cases, many before, where somebody will be drafted to a team, play there for several years, like underwhelmingly, and then eventually move on to another team and become a good quarterback. But
yes.
He's been in the league a long time.
He's been in there for a while. He was drafted by, like David said, he was drafted by the Bengals, played for them for a long time, and then went to Cowboys. I think he just went to the Cowboys last year. It had to have been just last year. I don't think he was there the year before, but either way, if he was going to do something in this league, I think he would do it before mid-30s.
I don't know how old he is.
I think I think he is like my age, 33, 34.
Anyway, no, so we'll see. I don't know. I'll watch it. I was way behind. I didn't really watch a lot of NFL this year. Just with the pandemic stuff, I couldn't get into it.
No, you were one of these guys. I'm not watching NFL anymore.
No.
Because of their stance on things.
No.
Yeah, you were.
I'm excited to watch the Illini, though, in March Madness.
Yeah. Did they win?
I missed the game today. They won today.
Iowa lost in overtime.
Really?
Yeah, Hawkeyes lost.
Well, anyway, Jerry, we should move on to what we're supposed to be doing.
Oh, what are we supposed to be doing? Whatever we want on our own podcast?
We're going to talk about the Justice League movie.
You're right.
But, hey, before we do that, we need to remind everybody, you have 1 week left to get your Snarf Madness bracket for 2021 in.
Weeko.
It is an awesome bracket. All you got to do is go to snarftalk.com/madness, fill out the bracket, email it back to us, and
That's
you will
it.
be entered. You cost nothing. You stand to win a $50 gift card.
And like we've said, like you're trying to match my bracket or Chris's bracket, but to be honest, just fill the bracket out and send it in. You could win or you could not.
Yeah.
That's it.
And it's a lot funner just to play along.
Yeah, it's a ton of fun to play along and do this. So send us a bracket, get it in this week. You can scan
David
it
said
right on your phone.
Ohio State lost, not Iowa. Ohio State.
I thought it was Iowa.
I didn't watch anything today. It was on tonight before I left. It was...
They were playing basketball games.
Yeah, but I don't remember what the teams were. Anyway, I had a couple of calls with some parts suppliers that are down in Central Illinois area this afternoon. because I'm trying to get new coulters for my 28 applicator.
Yeah.
It's been like a huge headache to get any parts this year because
Really?
everything is delayed.
We
or
got
out of
some in the
stock.
shop. I'll give them to you.
Anyway,
I'll take them from David and Gary.
talk to them in the afternoon. They're like, dude, the Illini game starts in like 15 minutes. I'm like,
Okay.
I don't know what to tell you, man. I need a quote on these parts. They're like,
They couldn't even give you a quote because the game
No,
is...
they did. It ended up emailing me one a little bit later, but he's like, I just kind of thought it would be dead today because the Illini game and everything. And I'm like,
Well, it's
I
not.
don't know what to tell you.
You're like, I hate the Illini. I'm not an alum.
Illinois is gonna play Loyola next. Is that who they play next?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm behind on it. I'm not a big college basketballer usually.
I'm not until it's March Madness,
But,
and then I
I
pay
mean,
attention to it because I'm
With
usually
the
in a
Illini
bracket.
as like a 1 seed, I should
Yeah.
be paying more attention. 'cause
You absolutely should.
I am an Illini alum.
You are.
So
Yeah. Out of this podcast, we are 50% alum. That's a pretty big.
it's a pretty high
It's a
percent.
pretty big percentage.
50% of the time, you're 100%.
We're in an Illini all the time.
Yeah,
I went there a lot.
me
Played-
too.
I played one of my most famous characters that have been. It's been brought back up on Facebook recently, but one of my most famous characters in my life is a character called Art McFlaren. He is a real estate tycoon that sells ground for the maple industry. Big into the maple syrup.
This was like a line.
No, it's a character I played.
Yeah, like in a bar.
Nope, I had I wore a suit and had a comb over wig that I would wear with a fake mustache. It was for one party.
Oh, I see. So that's funny. Chubbs had an alter ego down there too.
Okay.
His Chubbs Peterson,
Yeah.
but that's where that all came from.
Is it really?
Yeah, and he was like, well, I guess it's not really an alter ego. He would just walk around saying that he's Chubbs Peterson, and then he would be flashing his union plumber badge everywhere, including to the police.
Okay.
It was very funny.
Yeah. So there's that. All right. Yeah.
So, guys, Snarf Madness, get involved. It'll be fun.
it will.
And you lived in a van down by the river. That's what Craig said.
Oh yeah. Sometimes a little bit.
Justice League. Guys, we're going to talk about Justice League, the new Zack Snyder cut on HBO Max. There will be spoilers.
Yeah. This is huge.
From this
spoilers.
point on, we will spoil the shit out of this movie.
Now most of you have most likely seen the original Justice League movie, and there are similar scenes throughout this movie that you've seen.
Not much.
There are some that I remember seeing.
I only saw about 2 sequences that I remember seeing in the original movie.
I think that's about all
And
I
they
saw
said it
too.
was about 80% of this movie was new footage.
Was it that much?
Yep,
I mean, it
80%.
seemed like it.
It's a completely different movie.
So I was waiting for you to say that because I remember specifically a few weeks ago we were talking about it coming out, and
Yeah.
you're like, and
Don't
you said,
get excited.
yeah, you're like, don't get excited, guys, because listen, it's going to be the same movie, just a little bit different.
It's not the same movie at all. It is not even one iota of the same movie. It is in no way even close
Yeah.
to a similar movie as the first movie. It is a
Besides
completely
characters.
different movie.
Could you imagine being a director of a movie, having to step away for the emergency he had to step away, for, and coming back to see what was created with everything that you've shot, and then finding out that they reshot parts of this film with a Superman that had a mustache, and then they just just CGI'd over his mustache? Man, I'd be a little angry.
Yeah.
I'd be a bit angry.
It's very jarring how
Yeah.
different this movie is than the first one. So, I mean, I'll just start out right off by first impressions. And again, spoilers from here on out. We're on this topic. We're going to be on here for a while, but
Yeah.
there are going to be spoilers. I have seen the movie. I've looked online. I've seen negative reviews.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen positive reviews. I've seen the whole gamut. And I'm not taking into consideration anybody else's views. This is 100% just my first impression. I haven't looked that much at some stuff.
Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed the movie.
Did you really?
I found it really enjoyable.
So I was coming in
It was
here.
overly long.
Yeah.
And there was definitely stuff that could have been cut out to make it shorter. But
Yeah. Is it perfect? No,
no,
it's not by any means.
I thought it was really entertaining. Way, way better than the first movie.
It is
Completely
so
way better.
significantly better than the first movie, and I also enjoyed it a lot.
I was very, very
But it is way too long.
Maybe I came in with low expectations that were over.
You did.
I did.
I know you did.
And that's the way. That's a good way to come in and see it. With
I
low
agree.
expectations. But I will say, my expectations were. I won't say they were blown away, but it was a lot better movie. And there was, even at 4-hour running time,
It felt quicker than
and
that.
I think they could have got it down to 3 pretty easily. I think you could have cut that whole nightmare scene at the end.
Well, it's an epilogue, and I kind of liked that. I liked it.
It was unnecessary.
It has nothing to do with the main storyline.
So you could have cut all that off. And
He just added it in there because it's video footage that he shot. It's movie footage that he shot that he wanted to make a little story at the end.
yeah, I mean, we'll talk about more about it later because I have some thoughts on that. But Craig said, "Can I watch this without ever seeing any DC movie?" Yeah, I think you could.
You could. I mean, if
Most of the characters in our first introduction.
yes, but the only one you might want to watch is Batman v Superman.
Yeah, but I don't think you need to watch anything.
They talk about it, and you can see a
They
little bit of,
reference some things here and there, but
and you can see the character, like the reason why Batman is like he knows certain things about him and knows like
I don't know, and you know why Superman's dead.
Yes, and then you'd find out why he's dead. Yeah.
So yeah, that one for sure. But even if you didn't, it would be fine. It's an entertaining enough movie on its own merits. As opposed to the first one, it has a coherent plot.
Okay, so that's my first little point right here is that Steppenwolf, the big bad guy that's there. So also you finally get to see Darkseid. Darkseid is the actual big bad. He's just not on Earth, right?
Yeah, he's in like the background.
Yeah, so Steppenwolf is the guy who's doing everything for him. Well, Steppenwolf finally had a clear motive as to what he was trying to do, and it shows why he's there to begin with and why he wants these mother boxes.
Yeah, and it actually gives him
a purpose.
A purpose. The first movie, he was portrayed as like the main villain, and it never made any sense.
He just like showed up and then was fighting these people to try to grab a box that we didn't know anything about. And he was brought up from Lex Luthor in a bathtub scene, and it's just why none of that made any sense.
This plot made perfect sense.
Yes, it was put together very well.
The only confusing part for a non-comic book person would be like not quite understanding the whole mother box thing, which I don't even fully understand.
But they went in depth over, like overly in depth on what those were about.
2 hours in.
Yes, it
not
took
from the beginning.
No, it took 2 hours, and Grady was asking me right away what those boxes were, and I told him, I was like,
I don't remember.
I don't remember. I don't know. I was like, we're just gonna have to figure it out as we go, you know. And then he fell asleep right away, and then I fell asleep directly after that, and then finished it today. But I thought that was good. I was really glad to see that there was a clear point as to why the bad guy was going to be there and why they needed to fight him. I also really liked the fact that they spent a little bit of time on the characters we didn't really know. So like on Cyborg, on the Flash.
Mostly on Cyborg. I actually thought the Flash
got a little back, a little backdoor. They never even talked about Batman, which is fine. I'm not mad about that, but he was almost a side character in the Justice League movie.
Yeah, I will say this. I found so Flash and Cyborg are barely in the first Justice League cut.
Yep.
So in this movie, there's a lot more going on, especially with Cyborg. And I'm good or bad. It gives you a lot more story on him. I tend to think for most of the movie, I was like, who cares about this character? I did start to like the character at the end.
I did too.
The Flash, they give you more. It's just he's kind of annoying.
He is a little bit annoying. He gets a little overbearing with like the quips, and
I think there's one scene, and I have it written down, when he's going in for a job interview.
Yeah, right off the bat when you first meet him.
Yeah, and he keeps saying the same thing over and over again about being late. He says it like 30 times.
Yes.
He's like, I'm late. Sorry, I'm late.
He's very neurotic, like a very neurotic.
I just didn't like it. I didn't like that. But in general, I love the CGI and stuff they do with him, and like the portrayal of his speed is amazing.
So yeah, that's what I was wanting to talk about with the Flash. So With the Flash, I love the fact that they show that he can turn time backwards. Like he can actually go through time and change things.
They show the power of the character and everything.
You see a little bit of it earlier in the movie where he turns time backwards to do something. Oh, for the box. Like the box was dropping when they were bringing back Superman. The box is dropping and he runs back fast enough to lift it up out of the water to touch it, to give it its juice in order to bring, like, to basically spark to life Superman. But then at the end of the movie is when he really starts turning time backwards. But it's when he starts running and he's talking to himself and he starts saying, like, he's like, come on, Barry, you got to go faster than you ever have before.
He was talking to him about his dad.
And then he starts talking about his dad right after that. And he starts saying, like, I'm not going to mess this up and you're not dragging me down. And then you can see, like, the ground in front of him start being created.
Awesome scene.
That is an incredible scene, and it was very good.
There's
I liked that a lot.
A lot of good scenes and a lot of good CGI and a lot of good powerful visuals in this movie.
I don't like how he runs, how he, like, flings his hands forward. That's annoying.
I thought about it, but if you've ever watched a speed skater, like at the Olympic speed skating, like Apollo Ono,
they throw their arms, but
they
the
look
way
just like that.
You think so?
They look just like that. Yep. I bet he researched how he wanted to look.
Maybe. I didn't think it was as, like, rubber armed where he's like
think
curls
they do,
his arms.
because that's how you get the forward momentum. You're like, it's like being on a swing.
I mean, swinging your arms, yes, but not like.
I'm telling you, I've seen that before.
I don't think that's accurate. You made that up.
Yeah, I mean, I got a lot of point by points on this, so I'm just gonna start from the beginning.
Yeah, and I will comment as we go.
Right off the bat, at like the first 15 minutes of this movie, I'm like, we're in trouble. Like the Superman yell that just went on.
Yeah, that was dumb.
And on and on, and then Batman showing up at that town to see Aquaman,
which was that was one of the same scenes,
but not the 5 minutes of the woman singing.
Yeah, I didn't understand that at all. The whole singing thing.
This is where I'm saying there's a lot that could have been cut out. Anyway, so right at the beginning, I thought we were in trouble. It quickly improves, and actually,
I remember Grady saying, "Why is she singing?" I said, "I have no idea."
Why is Superman's yell? Why are we just going around the world listening to the echo of Superman's scream
with people looking up as it passes by? Huh?
Just for like ever. Anyway, it quickly gets a lot better. And I will say throughout this, before I get more in depth on it, I felt like the pacing was really good. Mm-hmm. I never really felt bored in moments or like lost interest. Like I kept they did a really good job of pacing action throughout this entire 4-hour movie.
Oh yeah.
To make it pretty much feel pretty seamless. It could have been two 2-hour movies. I have no idea why this wasn't released as a 2-part thing, like an Avengers movie, like Infinity War and Endgame.
It would make sense.
They would have made an extra $800 million.
Right.
I don't know why they wouldn't do it. Doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not saying it's on par with Infinity War and Endgame.
No.
But it's on par with the earlier Avengers movies, which are also good movies.
Yes.
Like, it's better than Age of Ultron.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, there is a lot of good about this movie. Anyway,
Tons.
I'm going to pick on a couple other things, though. Bruce Wayne working on this airplane.
Unnecessary.
He has no time to be working on airplanes.
No.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's like he's just tinkering in the shop on a side project. Really? Weren't you trying to put together this like huge team to save the world from like absolute destruction? But you spend time wrenching on a union that leaks water out of it all the time.
It doesn't make any sense.
It just was really
and there's a lot of stuff like that. But there was I'm gonna jump all over the place here.
Okay.
The flashback to the first fight against Darkseid
Yeah.
was amazing.
Loved it.
With Ares and
Zeus.
and
Zeus was awesome.
Poseidon and the gods. You know, it was like the gods that I loved the mythology, the backstory, like getting that peek into the mythology of the DC universe.
And it gives you a big reason as to why are these boxes here to begin with? Where did they come from?
And it's a cool scene on top of it.
And it's a very cool scene on top of it. Yeah.
When Ares splits his shoulder.
Yes.
I mean, that's great.
And he lays there and they like flop him back onto the ship. Awesome scene where Darkseid gets injured.
All of these characters
big time.
have been characters in DC Comics for a long time, but
The only thing that bothered me about the scene is that they destroyed all of those people pretty easily, pretty handily, right? And then you have Wonder Woman, who is more powerful than the Amazonians are.
she would be comparable to like a Zeus or...
Right. And she gets her butt kicked by Steppenwolf all the time. But those people, the people that are
She holds her
Steppenwolf,
own pretty well.
she's constantly getting beat, though.
We're going to talk... Well, let's just talk about that now. I will say, specifically as it relates to Wonder Woman, I did not feel the way you felt at all. She felt very powerful to me in this.
She is very powerful, but if you go...
I feel like she holds her own against Steppenwolf pretty well.
If you base it off of the flashback scene where they came in shooting arrows and sticking them in people all the time and killing everyone, she can't even stick an arrow in him. They shot arrows at him and he'd just catch them and throw them to the side. So I just don't feel like both of them. And then she wrapped her lasso around him and he pulled her.
Yeah, but she was really powerful. So I will say, I think this is the best portrayal of Wonder Woman we've seen in anything, bar none.
Correct.
She seems very powerful, but not too powerful. She seems balanced perfectly. Her character...
It's better than the second Wonder Woman movie.
It's better than the first Wonder Woman movie. This is the best Wonder Woman.
It is. I think the first Wonder Woman movie has to be that way to set up her at this point, though. You know what I mean?
She is incredible. I love this character from this movie. I've never been a Wonder Woman fan before.
No, you haven't, but she's awesome.
They rock it in this movie. It's perfect. The only thing that doesn't make sense is when she does the little wrist thing and blows the whole side of the bank out. And then,
For one guy.
I'm like, what? Why
Yeah.
would you do that? There's all these people behind you.
Yeah.
Like, you just destroyed the whole building.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense. Anyway, other than that, I think she's incredible. I love that character. I love that she could hold her own. I felt like she was really powerful. She held her own against a Superman.
Yeah, no, she did. She did. I agree with that. And I was going to talk about that scene with Superman, is that she did hold her own against Superman pretty well, except for getting headbutted into like oblivion. But when she did that with Superman, I look back at the fights she's had with Steppenwolf. She should have done a little bit better, I think. I don't think she should have been blasted back into a rock and like knocked unconscious almost, or like to the point where she was like chasing after him. I don't think it should have been that way.
Yeah.
Because she did hold her own pretty well against Superman. What I wanted to bring up is that when they woke Superman up and they did have the fight scene, I thought that was freaking awesome.
Yeah, when that was in the first one too, right?
Not the
to
whole
that
thing.
extent,
No. He got mad like that, but they did not do a whole fight scene like that to where it was that extreme. To where
Yeah, they did.
it wasn't the same fight scene though. It wasn't where Wonder Woman grabs him, Cyborg's pushing on him. Who else? So the Flash is running around and somebody else was on him. Batman wasn't there. Or Aquaman. Yeah. They were all grabbing him and he stood there and then he looked over at Barry Allen.
Absolutely, that was in the first movie.
Was it?
Yeah.
I don't remember it at all.
Yep, that was like the only good scene in the first movie.
Oh man, I didn't remember that at all, but I thought it was incredible
It's
this
a great
time.
scene, yeah.
And then then Barry Allen's running by and that just shows how strong he is, throwing everybody off of him and then going to swing at the Flash. That was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of going down my list here. Unbelievable overuse of slow motion.
Yeah,
It's insane how much slow motion is in this movie.
They use a lot for the Flash because
No, for everybody, especially in the first half of the movie. Everything is slow motion.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like somebody needs to take the slow motion button away from this guy.
Yeah, right.
It is crazy. It's in unnecessary scenes too. There's slow motion, so that's a problem. It's fine. I wrote down here just this note: movie makes way more sense, and it just does. It has coherent plot. It really, really makes a lot more sense. I had also written down Doom Patrol Cyborg is better than Justice League Cyborg. The actor.
Yeah, I would agree.
I mean, obviously the effects in Justice League are a million times better.
Right.
But I'm not like a fan of, and I'm not saying this because the guy's annoying, but his portrayal of that character of like so hollow when what we have to reference isn't that.
No, everything that you have in comic books and other cartoons and whatnot is not the same. And he's very like bitter and sad and hollow. And I
think
get
he
it
is
at
bitter
first.
in the comics for sure.
I get it to a point, and it does come back at the end of him being better, but I just don't know why he has to use it to affect everything he's doing. Like even if you feel that way towards your dad for doing what he did to you, you have to be aware.
Isn't it a little inexplicable the way his dad dies in the end? Like why? Just run out of the room.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why he did that.
It's a crazy scene though. This is a rated R movie for sure.
It is absolutely rated R. Yeah.
It's not really a good it's very, very graphically violent in parts.
But I just don't know why Cyborg would use that bitterness towards his dad and towards like what he is in his life.
He could be
against everybody else. It's like there's even a part where I think it was Wonder Woman says like, you can be mad about this, but there's bigger things happening here that you can help, that you can save, that you can fix. And it's like, wouldn't you at some point be like, yeah, you're right. I'll take up with that stuff when I get home. But right now, when you're talking about the end of the world, why would you turn around and then pout with a backpack on your bag? Like, no, I'm mad at you.
I agree.
That part I didn't like. But I think as a whole, that character gets so much better. And he is a good character. And I think he did a really good job at it.
And you see how powerful he is.
Yes, and you get to see how incredibly powerful he is with being able to tap into anything electronic in the world. That's pretty cool.
What did I read on here? Martian Manhunter. Wasn't expecting that.
It blew me away right at the end.
2 scenes of that. He was in the middle of the movie too. He visits Lois Lane.
Yes.
As Martha Kent. Shapeshifted as Martha Kent.
When? I don't remember that.
So when Martha Kent comes to her apartment,
yes,
and tells her like she needs to stop being depressed and get back in the world,
yes,
she closes the door, walks in the hallway, and it turns out it's Martian Manhunter.
I must have missed that.
Yeah.
Today.
Yes, that happens.
I did not.
It was
see
not
that.
Martha Kent ever. It was Martian Manhunter. So we could see that character.
Oh, that blows me away.
And it looks cool. I liked Martian Manhunter in Supergirl.
I never saw him in Supergirl. I love the character Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, so that obviously, this kind of gets to another point, and that's that this movie clearly was setting up a whole thing.
Yes, big thing.
And individual movies going forward, like the direction for the entire DC universe going forward. And it's a little bit depressing after seeing this movie to understand that none of that's going to happen.
Not a single ounce of it.
Because this really sets up some interesting things going forward. It sets up interesting individual movies and also interesting more Justice League movies.
Yeah,
that I would have loved to see. So that's really depressing. I wish if it would have been different if we didn't get that shitty react. This all really started from Batman v Superman. That's where it started. Yeah,
that's where all of it started, and it was gonna be a whole universe where they.
But I mean, that's where everything changed because of the bad reaction.
Oh yeah,
even though it made $900 million.
Right.
It's still anyway. So just.
But they could still do something. They're just not.
Zack
going
Snyder
to.
said he's not going to. So.
And that sucks. That it's not in the works.
Other things I'd like to see. They leaned hard on Chicago in this movie. I mean, it was all over the place, and I like to see that. It looked great.
It did look good.
It was everywhere.
It's Gotham City.
Yeah, it is Gotham City. But they've used other cities for Gotham before, but they went back to Chicago, and it is
because that's the right choice.
Skyline. Yeah, and it looks great. Henry Cavill is Matt Bomer. They're the same person.
Matt Bomer.
Or Matt Boomer. I don't know how you say his name. He's from, look him up on your computer.
Okay.
Matt, B-O.
On your thinking machine.
He is Negative Man from Doom Patrol. They are identical twins.
Oh.
They are identical twins.
I mean, they're not.
No, but they do look
alike.
Similar.
I tell you what, I really do feel like Henry Cavill is the number one Superman, though. I don't think you can
I have this
beat
down here on my list. Superman, this is the first time I've ever and the most interested I've ever been in Superman.
Yeah.
He's great in this movie.
It's incredible what they did with him.
Yeah.
And he's not in it very much.
I didn't feel like that with the first cut.
No.
And I didn't feel like that in Batman versus Superman. This movie, I was interested in Superman. I wanted to see more of Superman. I wanted a lot more Superman.
Yeah, the way he acted as him, the situation and the way they brought him back, and I know he was like angry and whatnot, but when he came back as the regular Superman, but in a black suit, just the way he acted was awesome.
Yeah.
I loved it. He was like overly confident, and I thought that was great. I loved Steppenwolf throwing an axe down to kill Cyborg, him get in the way, and I knew it was going to happen. I thought he was going to come and catch it with his hand, but when he came in and just let it hit him on the shoulder, and it just completely stops.
It's just amazing how
Oh yeah,
it was just
good.
a joke to him.
Yeah, the whole thing was like, for real, stop this.
Yeah, it showed him being so probably too powerful. In fact, actually, but
I thought that too, but I loved it.
I
loved every second of it, and I don't care if they portrayed him as too powerful.
It's unbelievable how similar he looks to Matt Bomer.
It is. He's thicker.
Yeah, a little bit.
Henry Cavill, I mean. Matt Bomer is like a thinner,
Yeah, and he's also an
skinner,
amazing negative man
like
on an
very
amazing
weak,
show.
skinny,
called Doom
frail version of Henry Cavill.
Let's see. Go down my list. Not a great Batman movie.
No, not at all. Had very little Batman.
Not a great portrayal of Batman. A lot of annoying things that aren't Batman-like
Yes.
happen. Where's the suit that he fought Superman in?
No
Why
idea.
wouldn't he have that suit on?
Yeah.
He can beat Superman. He could beat Steppenwolf.
Why can't you just call Alfred and say, instead of Alfred, I need the Nightcrawler. Alfred, I need
Give
my
me the
big-ass
gigantic suit.
that I just had a big fight with Superman like a year ago. The one that, I could withstand all of his punches. Give me that suit so I can beat this guy.
Yeah.
Because he's made out of metal. Or he has metal armor on him. Yeah, it would make sense. He doesn't have much to do. You don't see him fight very much.
I like the
When you
scenes
do
of him. When I think Ben Affleck is great. I'm not crazy about the voice thing. That's fine. I liked it at the end when Martian Manhunter comes and visits him. That's great.
Yeah.
I thought it was surprising when he drops the F-bomb.
Yes. The F-bomb in the epilogue. I liked that scene.
I hated that scene. I hated the Joker. I mean, that was awful.
Well, I knew you were going to hate the Joker.
Awful.
It's
what a joke, but I'm glad it was a dream. I don't care.
completely unnecessary to throw him in there. Zack Snyder wanted to tie the Joker to Batman in the universe that he was doing. The only thing I liked about the Joker is when he did talk about the Robin.
Yeah,
like
that was
killing
cool. That
Robin
was cool.
and how he did it. I'm glad they said something about it because it does tie it back to, Batman v Superman when you see Robin's suit and the crowbar and whatnot that killed him. I liked that. I did like the fact that Batman was like so pissed off that he does drop the F-bomb and says, I will freaking kill you.
Yeah.
I thought that was awesome. I liked that. The whole scene, the scene as a whole, though, it is completely unnecessary and overly long.
Yeah.
You have no context for what's going on. You don't know why they do it.
Just leave it on the end as like they should have been after credits. It should have been after the credits. Like,
But
this
what does
isn't-
it set up? What does it do?
Nothing.
What's it
that's
serve?
the thing. It serves nothing. So it should be like, oh, this isn't part of the movie. The movie ends. Okay.
Yeah.
Credits. Now we got an extra 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, what's coming next? And because that all was a dream. Obviously, it was an alternate universe. So it might not even be a dream. It's probably not a dream. It's probably an alternate universe.
And they're worried because Superman's bad, and they say, oh, because he like slams down, and say, oh, he found us, and it's Superman that found them, which is crazy. Like,
Well, it ties into Flash, his dream of or Flash
Cyborg.
visiting him in Batman v Superman from the Nightmare universe when he comes and he says the key is Lois.
it ties into that,
Because
and it
if
also
without
ties
Lois, Superman would have stayed evil.
right, and it also ties into the vision that Cyborg had when he was
Right.
had his hands in the
So
mother box.
I think it was all just a trial of something that didn't work, and then they're like, "Well, we got the footage. Let's just use it for something."
And that's
They
the
should
way
have just left
I feel
it
about
at the end after the credits, or had it as deleted scenes. It would have been fine. Just take it out though of the movie. Make the movie 3 hours long. It would have been fine.
Yeah.
On the topic of Batman, though, this is the most. I wrote this down. The most different portrayal of Batman we've ever gotten in a movie. Mm-hmm. He is not dark and brooding. I'm not saying he's jovial. I'm not saying he's jovial, but I'm saying they played Batman differently than we've seen him played in any iteration ever.
Yeah. He was like a background character just there to set this up.
But I just mean he was a little more chipper, positive. You know, he was more of a leader. Now, I know in the Justice League stuff, he's definitely a leader.
He is that way, yeah.
But he's not chipper. I mean, he's calculated, logical, reasoning, no emotion. He doesn't play it like that in this movie. And I don't know that I'm against it or for it. It just is what it is.
He does slightly, but he does seem more chipper and a lot more positive. He's always the guy that says, no, we can, or this is why this is happening, or, you know, like, he's still the same Superman. He's going to help us. Don't worry about that. Let's go here. I have this. You know, that's the way he is. He's like the setup guy for the entire movie.
But he also is like in reality, Batman would be way more prepared for a lot of things.
So here's why I was aggravated, and it was because there was no preparation on Batman's part to be able to fight against anything.
Right.
So all of them are fighting.
Like fighting-wise, he was kind of a joke.
He was not even around or available, and they did it on purpose. They're like, let's keep him at the bottom of this tube, and then it'll just take him a really long time to get to the top, and then you'll see him afterwards. Like the whole fight happens, and then it's like, oh, there's Batman.
Well, it's worse than that. It's very much set up to be, okay, like it's known by the movie, it's known by the characters, and it's known by Batman himself. Like, hey, I'm worthless in this fight. This isn't my fight. Mm-hmm. My role is to get you powerful people together.
Yes.
But that isn't right.
It's not right.
That's not really the right portrayal of Batman.
Absolutely not. Batman is prepared for everything. That's the shtick, right? Like Batman has preparation for every single thing that happens. That's why, like you said, why don't you have the suit, a different suit available to you to fight this big bad guy?
Yeah, my superpower is I'm rich. No, your superpower is your intellect.
Yeah, you're the world's greatest detective.
Your intelligence, you know? So I'm not saying they cut him short and they do him dirty. I don't think that's the case. I'm just saying that they relegate him to being like, hey, I'm the cheerleader for all these superpowered people.
He's not important in this movie other than the fact that he starts to get them together. He doesn't get all of them.
It shows Batman has no superpowers. Yes, I mean...
But he does.
I mean, he has...
That's the thing.
The technology.
Dirk, don't even start saying that stuff because I ain't going to be your spirit animal anymore.
I mean, he's right. He doesn't have any... He says it himself. He doesn't actually have any superpowers. Except for that he's rich.
But you said it as well. His superpower is his intellect and his
preparation,
intelligence and his preparations and his ability to create anything he needs to get the job done. It's the same with Iron Man.
It is the same with Iron Man. And it also baffles me. I thought about it during this movie. I thought about like the larger scheme of things. I go, okay, we've set up a universe where there's lots of technology available. Why isn't Batman more like Iron Man?
He doesn't need to be.
But he could be. And in certain circumstances, he is.
The only reason Iron Man...
And also like in the whole arc of Batman versus Superman, he is very Iron Man-like. He's creating big suits that he can take on these powerful things with.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He does all of that stuff.
And I understand that one's Marvel, one's DC. But my point being is like, put on a suit. I mean, there's no real reason why you wouldn't see Batman putting on an Iron Man-type suit and going out and fighting cosmic crime the way that Iron Man does.
Right, but I mean, it's just difference. It's just difference in character, right? It's difference in the book.
Absolutely. That's why it's hard.
Like, that's not the person. So, like...
Right, that's why it's hard when you mesh that character with other superheroes.
It is more difficult. It is a lot more difficult because of the situation that he comes from, where you have like the villains that Batman has to deal with can be somewhat
Street level.
They can be, they're basically street level. They can be aliens, but they're still a street level alien. It's not like cosmic being that's flying ships and blowing up things. Not to say he hasn't dealt with that kind of stuff before. There is a small amount of that, but Iron Man is literally flying into space.
But Batman could too. That's what I'm saying.
People.
That's my point.
But the world doesn't give him that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like the world doesn't support that type of character to begin with. So there's no reason to have
That's why
it.
I'm saying it's hard and it's problematic to do these types of movies. That's why Justice League is harder to do than the Avengers.
But they have that type of stuff in the Justice League books, in the Justice League TV show.
Absolutely.
All you have to do is go back and look at the source material and do that for these movies. It has been created to where he is capable and able to fight these type of beings, or at least be a bigger like assistance to the other people. They just chose not to do it. That's a Zack Snyder choosing not to do this. That's not a Batman fail. That's a writer and creator fail.
So, okay. Dirk said here, he goes,
he is the Iron Man of DC.
He's not, though. He's really not. Like, Daredevil is the Marvel Batman.
Right. They put the two together because they're both billionaires.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why. They're both the like billionaire playboy type person. And that's why they put them together. But yeah, Daredevil and Moon Knight are the two more Batman-y characters.
I guess you could say yes, also with Iron Man, because he technology billionaire. So yes, I guess there's a certain amount of that. There's lots of crossover, right?
I mean, they all copied off Batman. Yes, you're right.
I don't know. It's difficult. Yes, 100% Dirk is right. Why leave him so vulnerable? There's no reason. That's my point.
No.
There's no reason to make him look like a pathetic...
He needs to flip it around because Batman was first.
I understand, but they did leave him vulnerable all the time.
No, I know. I'm saying, like, he is the Iron Man of DC. No. Flip that around because Batman came well before any of those characters.
Yeah.
So, give him the credit. That's what I'm saying.
And, the difference between Tony Stark and Batman is, Tony Stark's a scientist.
He's a weaponologist.
Yeah, Batman is a detective.
Correct. A sleuth.
A sleuth, if you will.
He stays in the shadows.
Intellect, not necessarily quantum mechanics.
Or force. Yeah, quantum mechanics for sure. Like, that's the only reason why he built those suits is to save his own life.
Yeah. But,
The suit came from the ability to keep a piece of metal out of his heart. That's where it stemmed from. Batman didn't get injured to begin with. He never does. So,
but Batman did create some kind of perpetual energy machine because Bane stole it.
He
and
probably
drove
did,
around with it in a truck.
of course he did.
It's terrible. I liked.
That was in the movie.
Yeah,
I forgot.
I liked. I liked Ben Affleck's portrayal of Batman.
I do think he does a very good Batman.
More Ben Affleck Batman.
And I think he would be a very good Bruce Wayne. Like, I want to see just a Bruce Wayne show of him just doing like, sit down.
The hard part is
talks.
Going forward with more Justice League stuff, if you did, is now you can't go back. Now it's going to seem dumb watching Batman fight Two-Face over street crime.
No, it won't. There's always a place for that. It's the same for the Marvel universe. Like, wouldn't it be dumb to see, like...
I think it'd be better to leave Batman out of any further Justice League stuff.
It's not silly to see Spider-Man go fight different people.
Completely different. Spider-Man is a superhuman character.
I understand that, but he's still a street-level type, superhero in New York. Yes, he is.
Yeah, to an extent. But my point is...
He's your friendly neighborhood.
Listen, I'm not trying to... All I'm saying is that if they were going to continue with more Justice League, combined stuff, leave Batman out of it.
I wish they would.
It could easily... Batman, there could be a scene where Batman's like, listen, guys, I got shit to deal with here.
Yeah.
You guys deal with that.
I think that would be a good
And it
idea.
would be
Bring in
totally
Martian
fine.
Manhunter.
Yeah.
Put Martian Manhunter in the Justice League, or bring, I mean, geez, how many other characters? Green Lantern. Like the whole Green Lantern Corps could be involved with this, which is also in the movie.
I like the idea of Batman being the guy that's fighting the corruption on the streets of Gotham for the common man.
Yeah, the thugs. That's what he's there for.
You know, this crime boss is taking advantage of this. He's very daredevil-y.
And you could always say, like, hey, I set up the Justice League. Or they could always call him and, you know what I mean? Like, tie him into where they're calling him saying, hey, we have this issue. And then he researches all the stuff, tells them, like, this is what I would do. And then they go about it their own way. But he's not like a cosmic level fighter.
Yeah, I mean, he is in the comics, but...
Correct, but he's
got
not.
a lot of spacesuits.
He's not when it comes to movies.
He's got spacesuits with bat ears on them, Jerry.
Well, you have to have bat ears. You're Batman.
That's all the notes I really made on it. Like I said, I regret nothing of my 4 hours of watching this movie. I would watch it again.
I would too. I'm completely on board. This is my version of Justice League. Like, this is
I don't
by
think
far
any
the version.
single human being could ever say that the last version was better.
No, not at all. And
I
there's
saw
not.
one person say it, and they said, I like the last version better because I only wasted 2 hours and I didn't waste 4 hours. But that person's an idiot. There's enough good stuff in this movie.
I love the character development. I love the fact of, like, why they were brought together. I love seeing how the bad guy plays out and why he's doing his thing. The two things I will say that I wasn't a fan of is the fact that it's still overly molten and dark. I hate
And
that.
the slow motion, that kind of stuff, yeah.
I hate the how dark it has to be every time they fight. Like, why does the sun disappear just because you're fighting someone?
It didn't bother me too much in this. I will
No,
say
it's not as bad in this one,
Yeah.
but it's still there.
Yes, it's there.
Every time you get into a big fight scene, it gets super dark, and for some reason, there's fucking lava around. Where does the lava constantly come from, and why is it there to begin with? It doesn't need to be there. Just leave it normal Earth. You can destroy buildings around you. That's fine. I mean, Marvel goes about destroying entire cityscapes.
You know how cool it would be to see some of those fight scenes in broad daylight?
That's what I was sitting there thinking today when I was watching it. I was like,
Maybe that's why
what would it be like
maybe
if the
that's what
sun
makes
was shining?
Avengers so great, right? So
The sun
bright,
shines.
You know? Yeah.
It is. It absolutely is. People enjoy a lighter shot scene, even though it could be dealing with the same type of characters, the same big bad people that come from dark, terrible places, but you added a little bit of light to this scene, and they're like, oh my gosh, look at all these heroes. This is great. But as soon as you make it dark and brooding and full of lava, people are like, like I do. I get a little turned off by it. Same thing happened at the end of Wonder
You
Woman.
ate some oysters.
It just, I ate those buckets of snot and I didn't like it. The last thing was that I wish they would have brought Darkseid to Earth.
No, I'm fine with it. They were setting that up for the next movie. And frankly,
they were.
It's unfortunate that we're not going to get it.
No, I know. And that's why I kind of wish, like,
I
wish Steppenwolf wasn't. I didn't like Steppenwolf as a character. I don't like him as a big bad.
I don't care. It makes sense, though. The plot made sense, and it made sense why he was there.
I agree.
And it makes sense they have the anti-life equation, and then at the end, the Martian Manhunter's like, hey, he's coming back.
Yeah, I agree with
Get
all
ready.
of that.
And then
But what I'm
they're going to
saying
bring
is-
in the Green Lantern. That's another thing.
We had 4 hours worth of movie, though. They could have done that the first 2 hours of the whole Steppenwolf thing and had the second 2 hours of Darkseid coming to
No,
Earth.
I liked the way they did it.
They could have done that. I wanted to see Darkseid more.
I
Because, again, like, why? It was almost as if, like, why bring him in the second half when you weren't going to see him anyways? He was like
love when they lopped off Steppenwolf's head, though.
Oh, yeah. Oh, when Wonder Woman did? Yeah. And then he stepped on it, like, as if he meant nothing.
That's his uncle. You know that?
I did not know that.
That's Darkseid's uncle.
Oh, Steppenwolf was his uncle?
Yep.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I don't know a lot of the details of all that, but I was thinking, because they did show a lot of Green Lantern stuff going on.
I like the Green Lantern.
Love Green Lantern. Love to get it into this universe. It's not going to happen now, obviously, but another thing I thought about Batman, though, I'm like, There's no way Batman wouldn't figure out a way to get a hold of a Green Lantern ring.
Yeah.
I know the ring chooses the person, but come on. He could figure it out, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think he could.
Batman, Green
find a way
Lantern.
around. I bet you they've done that at some point in a comic
In
book.
the comics, I'm sure. But
If not, copyright Snarf Talk. Don't steal that. This is copyrighted. We've said it. It is documented. And that is something that DC can buy from us.
yeah. No, they can't because they own all of those concepts.
But
You
not
can't
together.
You can't sell them putting them together. They own
Why?
all of that
Well,
IP.
that's true. But that was our idea.
Yeah.
You can't steal that idea.
Well, we'll revel in it. I'm sure it's happened, but no. Anyway, I would highly recommend the movie if for anybody, not even for comic book movie fans. Like, it was an entertaining movie. I think it stands alone. It makes sense. It was a high quality movie. Yes, it's an hour longer than it needs to be. Mm-hmm. No, you couldn't have done it in 2. You could have done it.
No.
You could have done it in 2 hour and 45-minute long movies. Yes.
Hour and 45 minutes. Yeah, I guess you
Cut
could
a half
have.
hour out. Would it have worked?
It had to be 3. It had to have at least been 3.
Would it have worked as a 4-part miniseries? Yes. Mm-hmm. Well, actually.
I like how they broke it up in parts, where they show you the different parts, and it says like part 6, like
Yeah.
darkness beginning or whatever.
I think it's the best DC movie to date.
I agree. There hasn't been many.
No, but
So,
it's the best one. Let's move on to what we're watching because we don't have much time left. I
Yes,
have
sir.
watched some stuff. I'm going to let you go first.
Okay, I've got 2 things. One of them, well, both of them are relatively short, just because there's just not much to say here. So I've watched the regular like crap that I've always watched, but I started a show called The Last Blockbuster, and it's like a little docu-series on the last blockbuster that was available in Oregon, and what they did to survive. I started it and immediately fell asleep. I haven't finished it yet, but it's something I want to go back to because it looked pretty interesting to me. Go ahead.
Dirk said, "Bat guy using a green light source ring." I don't know why, but I just find that string of words funny.
Bat guy using a green light source ring. Yeah, that's what it is.
Anyway,
And then so that is what it is. I want to go back and watch it. I haven't seen all of it yet, but it was funny it struck me because it shows this family that owns the last blockbuster and what they were doing to keep it open. And they were like,
selling heroin.
well, they were like turned it into a restaurant for like Valentine's Day to where you could come in and eat and then also rent a movie and they would play it inside the building. They were doing all sorts of things and what they've done since then. I need to go back and watch it though, because I fell asleep immediately. The last one that I watched, this is the other thing that I watched. It's called Kid 90 and it was on Hulu, I believe, is where I watched it. It might be on Netflix. I can't remember, but you can search Kid 90. It's a documentary as well by Soleil Moon Frye, who was Punky Brewster. You know the show Punky Brewster?
Yeah, I used to watch that.
Okay, you'll know her as soon as you see her, but she hasn't been in much since Punky Brewster. She's been in some things, but she's the one who put together this Kid 90 documentary, and it is all footage that she shot throughout her entire life, because once she did, like right as she got Punky Brewster, she started picking up a camera and documenting her entire life.
Charlie Sheen reacts after Soleil Moon Frye details their first sexual encounter.
Yes. So she talks about how she lost her virginity to Charlie Sheen. Doesn't directly name him, but shows him every time. Every time she talked about the first time, it would show pictures of him and have his voice like on audio recordings talking to her and stuff. It was weird. Well, anyway, what I'm going to say about this is I thought it was going to be the depiction of what it was to grow up in the 90s and the depiction of like, of kid actors and stuff in the 90s, but I didn't know it was going to go in the direction she took it.
Okay.
It is super dark. It's very depressing. It talks a lot about suicide, terrible mental health because of what they went through.
Nothing like Punky Brewster.
it just wasn't
That was
what
a
I
fun
thought it was
show.
going to be. And she's
I don't know if I need this in my life, to be honest with you.
no. I would never suggest you watch this. Anybody out there, you don't need to watch it. It's not necessarily enjoyable. I don't hate it. It is what it is. It's its own thing. Amy and I watched it together. We both had something that we enjoyed about it. Like you see a lot of really young Leonardo DiCaprio, and you see like her, Leo, and like all of these teenage actors that you knew of in the 90s that you saw on every single show hung out together. They were all friends, and she like documented them at parties and doing things. It was really cool to see that. But then you see the darker side of things where she has like audio tapes of them talking about like, I'm done with this and I'm going to commit suicide, and then them doing it. It's like, whoa, this is a super dark turn that I was just not prepared for, because I thought this was going to be a fun 90s documentary. And then talking about like rape and different situations, and Mark Paul Gosselaar's on that on there from
You don't want one of these.
I want to try it. I do want
Lime
to try
and
it.
prickly pear, cactus, Michelob Ultra Infusion.
Who doesn't love a good prickly pear in their life?
Ugh.
I'd drink it.
I mean, I am drinking it. But
I would.
anyway,
So Mark Paul Gosselaar had a line in there that really struck me, and he said when he got on set for Saved by the Bell, it was like, he didn't necessarily say it was the first episode, but he got on set, and one of the cameramen told him, he says, "Hey kid, as soon as you walk through those double doors and you get on set, like walk through the double doors and we start filming, you go from a kid and you turn into an adult. You're never going to be a kid again as soon as we start filming you." And he's like, I thought it was like a joke, like he was joking with me. And he said it was 100% true. As soon as I started filming Saved by the Bell, he said everybody just automatically like looks at you as something to use or like some sort of benefit, and they don't treat you like a kid anymore the way you grew up. You are treated as an asset or something to use, and it's more of an adult way of life. And he said it's really hard for teenage kids, and she was saying the same thing. It's really hard for like, young adults and teenage kids to like adjust to that and be normal. He's like, it's just awful. He's like, if every one of us could decide not to be a teenage actor, like at that point in time, he said every single one of us would go back and decide to have a normal life. He's like, because it's just not what you think it was.
easy to say.
And
But when you're
I don't know. I always thought I wanted to be a teenage actor.
really,
Yeah, until I saw this.
that's depressing. Let's move on.
It was. Don't watch it. It caught me way off guard. Just not good.
I've watched a bunch of stuff, but I'm not going to dwell on a lot of it because I did watch the first episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. You haven't seen it, so we're not going to talk about it.
I tried to get to it today, and I just didn't have time.
Right before the podcast. I'm like,
Oh, really?
It was like 6:30, and I'm like, I got an hour till the podcast. I'm going to watch it.
Are they hour long or 30 minutes?
No, they're longer than 30. They're like
45 minutes?
45, 50 minutes.
Like a WandaVision?
No longer.
Well, the last like 3 WandaVisions were over 40 minutes.
I will just say they're very Marvel cinematic. They're very movie-like.
Oh.
It's like you're watching a Marvel movie.
Well, that's
More so than WandaVision.
I could assume that.
Yeah. So, I mean,
I don't think that would be hard
we'll
to do.
talk about it more later when you've watched it.
Okay.
I'm still watching American Idol. I think it's done with auditions.
Okay.
I'm having fun with it. Justice League. I guess the two big things I've watched, and I could do what I've played. I've been playing Super Mario 3D World.
Oh, I knew you had that because Cash was.
Bought it. It's fun Mario game. Liked it.
I've been playing a lot of Mortal Kombat.
Really?
Oh my gosh.
Mortal Kombat.
Finish him.
Two big things I watched. The first one, Raya and the Last Dragon.
You spent the $30 to watch this movie.
Not quite. Okay.
Oh, not quite. He says.
So
I want to see it
I
so
did
bad.
not know that it was that it cost that money. First off, but
How? It says for Disney Premiere Plus.
I just thought it was coming out
blah.
on Disney Plus. I didn't know it was extra
No,
money.
Premiere Access.
So we played it all up. We're like, oh, we're gonna watch this movie. So I opened it up and I $29.99.
yeah.
And I said, oh well, fuck this. Like it's playing in the movie theaters. We can just go to the movie theater and watch it.
It's not.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Absolutely.
I thought it was only on Disney Plus.
No, you can watch it in the movie theater.
Oh, well then I'm going to do that.
So we're sitting there and I'm
Tomorrow.
like, and Marley's like, oh, we'll just go to AMC tomorrow and watch it in Morris or something. And then I started thinking about it. I'm like, but that's going to cost us $50. So we might as well just watch it for $30.
Yeah.
So, and the kids were already primed to watch it. So I'm like, okay.
But I love that experience.
So do I.
I love getting
I do
popcorn.
too, but I'm just saying
You
like,
don't get the same popcorn.
It's easier to justify when you're actually going to spend less money than you would spend at the movie theater.
I agree.
And on top of that, when I went to buy it, they give you the option of paying with Amazon coins.
How do I get those?
I don't know, but for some reason, I already had like 500
course you
coins
did.
in my account.
Of course you did.
I think you maybe just get them. I don't know.
I mean, I spend a lot of money on Amazon. I better have some coins.
And then on top of that, if you buy coin packages, you get discounts. So I bought, it cost 3,000 coins to rent the movie or buy
Okay.
the movie. And you can buy a 2,500 coin package for like 15% off. And then I already had like
15% off of what?
$25. It's $1 for 100 coins.
So you got like $3 off of.
So I paid like $20 for 2,500 coins. And I already had 500 coins.
Right. So you paid $20.
I paid
for the movie.
$20 to get the movie.
So you got $9.99 off.
Yeah, which is great.
That's
so
a
I'm
lot.
like, you know what?
That's
I'm in. Amazon coins all the way.
$20. I would pay $20 for a movie because it is a lot cheaper than going to a movie theater.
It will be out in June, free, but that's a long ways away.
That's a little long ways away.
Anyway, let's talk about the movie.
I want to see this bad.
Okay, well,
No, I want to know if you liked it or not.
I liked it. It's a very enjoyable movie. The kids really liked it. It's a great kids movie. It didn't quite live up to what I wanted it to
hype
live up to.
So they're pushing this as like the best Disney movie ever made. Is
No,
what I mean, yeah. Some of the reviews
No, I'm just telling you, no, it's
and
not.
some of the like the trailers and like with the way they've pushed all of the actors like to, you know, like Aquafina and that one girl that I don't remember her name that I should was in Star Wars and is Raya.
Daisy Ridley.
No, she's Raya. She's the.
Daisy Ridley.
No, it's not. It's the Asian American girl.
Oh, okay. Rose.
Yeah,
Yeah,
her.
I don't know. It doesn't
She's the person that plays Raya, and then Aquafina is the dragon. Those two people have been all over social media, you know, for like promoting this movie, and they've just promoted it in a way that they think it's like, you know, the next Moana, like the bigger than the next Moana.
Boy, it is a Moana wannabe.
You think it's
That's
a
a
wannabe?
Moana wannabe.
Yeah, Moana wannabe.
It is Moana. It's the same story as Moana, basically.
Is it really?
Yeah, and
It looks
not as
looks
good
the
as
same.
Moana, definitely.
You don't think it is? Huh?
It looks incredible.
I want it to be better than all of them.
Listen, it looks incredible. It's a fun movie.
I'm going to go and see this, and I'm going to come back and tell you it is better than all of them, just to be the devil's advocate.
You're going to be wrong. But it is a fine movie. It is a fine movie. It does not rise to the level of...
I just thought like the storyline and it being Asians and dragons, you would love it.
Me too. And it just didn't quite... Listen, I'm not saying anything negative about it. It was a good movie. I enjoyed it. It was a great family movie.
Sounds kind of negative.
But it didn't make me jump up and be like, oh my God.
Why?
Because it was fine. It was
Did you
fine.
with Moana?
Yeah, Moana's good.
You
That's a
jumped
good
out of
movie.
your seat and said, "Oh my god!"
Moana is an incredible movie.
I know, but
The
it's only
soundtrack-
because of the soundtrack.
Yeah. There's no music in this one. But
What?
there's no singing. No.
What is Disney doing? There's no singing?
No, there's no singing in this movie. No.
Huh. Well, now I've changed my opinion before I ever saw it.
I liked the movie. It's fine. It's good. It was good. It has very funny moments. It's a good movie.
So there's no like montage like where they say, "I'll make a man
No.
out of you."
Listen, this movie is worth spending $20 on if you have kids. If you don't have kids, just wait till June.
To be honest, I kind of want to go to the movie theater tomorrow.
It would be great to go to the movie theater and see. It would be a good, fun movie. It looks amazing.
I thought you were going to say horrendous.
No, it looks amazing.
No, it does. All of the trailers and stuff, it looks really good.
So anyway, that's we'll talk about more after you see it.
Okay.
The big one I did watch is I finished and I started and continued and finished season 2 of Doom Patrol.
DP, as they say.
DP. As you
Double
may remember,
DP.
if you're a listener, me and Jerry both gushed about season 1 of Doom Patrol.
We did.
The first 3 or 4 episodes are a rough sit. The end of the season is unbelievably great. It is the weirdest, most crazy, insane thing you've ever seen. It makes no sense.
Very fun.
It's a very fun show. Season 2 is very different than season 1, for sure. It has some of the same aspects. Some ways it's good because you don't have to go through the whole like meet and greet process for the whole world.
I always start off thinking the second season is better because you don't have to learn anything about the characters.
I do not think the second season is better than the first season. I do not believe that. It starts, to me, pretty slow. A lot of the main storyline revolves around the chief's daughter, and I don't like that storyline very much. But it all resolves in the last 4 episodes, 4 episodes, to something that I quite enjoyed a lot.
Oh, really?
I actually couldn't wait to get home to watch the next episode of. And I was actually very upset that it ended. Like, I wanted more.
Well, that's good.
And it ends on a cliffhanger.
This is a writing thing. So what I would say, just like an outside opinion of this, is the reason I say that I always go into the second season as liking it the best right off the bat, or better than the first, is because, yes, you don't have to learn anything about the characters much more than what you already know. They may give you new details about them, but you know the characters that you're getting into, right? So right off the bat, it's easier to get into a second season. If it doesn't jump off to you or you don't like it as much, that's a writing failure. It's a failure in storytelling. It's a failure in holding up the characters.
There is a hell of a lot of setup. Okay?
Well, that's what I mean. That's a failure right there. Is like if you have an abundance of setup for the story you're trying to tell.
There almost has to be, though. It's complicated. It's so complicated.
But there are ways around that.
You've never seen anything so complicated as Doom Patrol. It makes
I know, but there's ways around that to make it enjoyable. It's like if you're going to make the first 5 episodes really boring and setup, I just don't understand why you think you're going to keep a fan base. Even if the last 4 episodes are great, you're one of the few that probably stuck around till that point.
I think the show does well. I think it has. I mean, it's definitely going to keep going. I think they're going to keep making it. The production value has increased immensely.
Had to have after
from
the
first
season.
One. Yeah, immensely. It's not even the same thing.
And I didn't think it was bad in the first one.
It is not.
Because it's like...
It's not bad.
It's clunky in a good way.
At the beginning. And towards the end of the season, they spent more.
They did, but it was still like clunky.
Season 2 is vastly improved in that section. You spend a lot of time in the underground with Jane's personalities.
Which is awesome.
It's super cool. You spend a lot of time with the chief and his daughter, which is the main kind of storyline of the season. You spend a little bit of time, less time with Larry Traynor and Rita Farr and Robot Man. Less time in this season. Still, you get it in there.
See, I like the idea of not spending as much time with them.
I agree.
Agreed.
Although I think some of the best stuff from season 1 was with Larry Traynor. But he's kind of getting to be a little annoying of a character. It's like, get your shit together a little bit.
Yes. He hasn't, apparently.
I think he's starting to.
Because I know I've
They're
seen...
still like not a team. Like they're not superheroes. They're not a team. They're
So
bumbling.
there's so much more to this.
They're bumbling. They're not doing anything. They're not saving anybody. There's a lot more Cyborg in this season. A lot more Cyborg.
Really?
Yeah. Huge side storyline involving Cyborg. But none of them are competent at doing anything. Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Still, and maybe ever. I don't know.
I do like that Cyborg actor. It's funny in the first season because you could clearly see it's just like a piece of plastic stuck to his face.
Yeah.
You know, like that part is really funny to me, and I think it's enjoyable because it is so like on the nose, like fake.
I still believe fully that the girl that plays Jane deserves all the awards.
She was great in the first season.
Just for the ability to play all these multitudes of characters and perfectly on tee, that girl deserves everything.
I mean, have you ever thought that she might actually have split personalities and they're just filming her in regular time?
No, I've never considered that, but that's an interesting thought.
It's possible.
Anyway, I don't know if I can recommend this show to your average viewer. If you're just like an average, I want to watch like something cool. This is a lot.
You have to have some dedication there, huh?
You will love it.
Okay. Then I gotta watch it.
Anybody that's into sci-fi,
what's it on again? Amazon?
HBO.
Oh, HBO. That's right. I couldn't remember.
Anybody that likes sci-fi will like it. I'm not even gonna say comic book stuff because it isn't like that. It's sci-fi, hardcore.
Yeah.
It's kitschy sci-fi. You know, it's like Umbrella Academy kind of stuff.
Kitschy, gitchy, ya, gaga.
Yeah. Yep, that.
Mm-hmm.
You'll like it. You should definitely watch it. I hope you watch it because I want to talk to you more about all the ins and outs. It ends on a cliffhanger. That's a spoiler, but
so you're saying I should start watching this immediately?
Yeah, it's not very long. I mean, it's only like 9 episodes, maybe 10.
So 9 or 10 hours worth of
yeah
time.
You just watched 4 hours of Justice League. So.
No, I only watched 2.5 because I stayed up some last night.
Okay, but you
hour and a half last night, 2.5 today.
Justice League movie.
Well, yeah, but that was split up between 2 days, and
so in 4 days you should be able to watch all of Doom Patrol.
You maybe. Actually, I can watch a lot coming up this week because I will be gone for work. I'm going to be gone all week in Rock Island. Well, I come back on Thursday. I'll be back Thursday from Rock Island, but I will be spending the night there Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and coming back Thursday.
Party up. I'm going to have a party up.
No, I'm the guy that's going to come back.
Bar.
I mean, I'm the guy that's going to come back.
You're going to go to the Chili's bar, and you're going to be just the drunk guy in the corner, just like hounding the waitress.
Actually, I'm at a casino, a hotel casino, so.
Potawatomi Bingo Casino?
It's not Potawatomi. It's Isle of Capri.
I want to go on this trip with you.
Isle of Capri. I'll be staying in Bentendorf, Iowa.
Well, hey, that ending music lets us know that it's time for this experience to be over.
Yeah, you guys aren't hearing the ending music until we play it, but I heard it because I didn't mute it.
So, remember, snarftalk.com/madness. Get your brackets in right away.
As soon as you
next
can.
Week.
You have a scanner on your phone. Go in your notes app on your phone, and you have a scanner there. If not, download a different scanner. It's very easy to do. Scan your bracket.
Scan your shit.
And email it to us at info@snarfcomics.com. Then, when you're done with that, go to patreon.com/snarfcomics and check out what we got there.
Yeah.
You can subscribe for $5. You're going to get every single thing that I've ever put on Patreon for our
Dirk said
stuff.
the beef tour starts in Bettendorf.
Beef tour starting from Bettendorf. Yeah, come to Bettendorf.
I don't know if Iowa is known for their Italian beef.
It's Rock Island, though. It's the Quad Cities. The Quad Cities
is that
may
like
have...
the Italian hub
They might have...
of Iowa?
They're going to have at least
like,
one place.
Hey, Phil, get over here. We got some Italian beefs. We got some Giardiniera We got some gabba-de-goo.
We got the John Deere Museum
Yeah,
over
got the
here.
John Deere's over here.
In the Davenport.
We got deers and beers.
Deers and beers with the beef.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat my beef on a deer.
The Iowans are all like Norwegians. They're like, opie dopey doopy.
No.
Herpy derpy.
All the Iowans?
Iowans.
No,
they're
I'm
not,
pretty sure
they're not Italian. Or Polish.
Oh, no. Not in the slightest.
But we're doing a Polish accent, not an Italian accent.
No, we weren't. Polish? That's like almost Russian or German.
The Chicago accent is a Polish accent.
The Polish accent
Like,
is way
welcome
different.
to the Chicago Midway airports.
That's a Chicago accent,
and
not
that's
Polish.
Polish, dude.
It may be derived, but it's not even close.
Derived from Polish people, which
You
is
never said the word ski in anything.
Listen over here. Hey,
Polski.
listen over here.
Polski.
I need you to know something.
I'm going to have a good...
Chicago is known as a Polish town.
Well, yeah, I know. They got more Polish people in Chicago than
That's
they
why
do the
we
capital
celebrate
of Poland.
Casimir Pulaski Day.
Kashmir.
Casimir Pulaski Day.
Pulaski.
I don't know who the dude was,
Ski.
but we get out of school, we get some Italian beef, we get some gabba-da-goo. Now you go to Italian, that's New York. That is New York. That is not Chicago.
New York.
Concrete
I'm in
jungle
New
where
York.
we were made from.
New
Nothing we can't do.
York.
But yeah, Italian accents are from New York, not Staten Island.
Listen up, bro. You got to get the canned San Marzano's tomatoes. Peak ripeness when they're canned, okay?
Dirk said I'm so good at running this show off the rails. Listen, Coors Light is really good at running this show off the rails, and Busch Light.
But for real, if you're in Bettendorf this week, I'll be there. Bettendorf, Rock
You'll
Island,
be
Davenport.
Belly up to the Chili's Bar and Grill.
Yeah, and I'll be saying, hey, you got those canned San Marzanos in your gravy? Eh? You got the pep? You got the pep?
He'll be eating some shrimp.
You got
spicy
any
shrimp
basil?
tacos and drinking a cool, crisp 24-ounce Busch Light.
Give me that gabagoo.
Give me that gabba-da-goo.
No, that's really what I'm going to say all week. I'm supposed to be professional, but I'm going to go to this meeting. We have a partnering meeting with the Coast Guard.
Jerry Snyder here. I'm from the Chicago office. I'm right outside of Joliet.
No, I'm going to say, no, I'm not the Chicago office. They have their own district.
Okay, Joliet.
I'm going to say Morris. I'm like, yeah, listen up there, Coast Guard
You
guys.
got to say Joliet because you can go Joliet.
I'm from the Joliet area. You got to go over to the Morris to get the beef, all right? We got the Bazas. They may be a chain concoction right now. I guess they got multiple locations I wasn't aware of, but we got the beef. You can get some sport peppers or maybe a good banana on there. You get the hot jardinere. It's gonna burn your tongue. You're gonna love it. All right. They got the gravy made with the San Marzanos. Your grandma would slap you like grandmas do. Because they got the good gravy.
They got the best nachos in the world, but you got to understand that they're just the round
They're round chips that they got from the market.
With the nacho cheese machine.
All right, listen, hang on there, Colonel. Just wait a minute while you want to talk. You gotta wait a second. I gotta tell you about their foot-long Polish sausage. You can get a big foot-long sausage. It's Polish, all right? You get the kraut on there and a little mustard, and you're good to go. You put the onions on your other dog. You get a Chicago style with the kraut, or not the kraut, the tomatoes and the pickle, and
But you gotta leave off the celery salt because the doc says it's bad for my blood pressure.
You say the word ketchup, I'll put you in the grave.
Yeah.
And the San Marzano.
Am I right or am I right?
Am I right? Am I right? Am I right, buddy? You. Anyway, that's my meeting this week.
Okay.
Yeah. So for Snarf Talk.
Oh no, I said that.
Oh, okay.
For Snarf Talk this week, I've been Chris.